too early, but that's okay. My gym workout was phenomenal. Before I went home, I decided to stop over at my mother's house. I haven't seen my mother in 2 months. I know she's going to be very surprised to see me. I can't wait. What the? I couldn't believe what I was seeing. The first thing I noticed was this person's skin. What is going on? Uncomplicated, untreated skin? Who is this guy? I had to take a step back, but then I realized it was my brother. But look at his skin. Have you guys ever seen anything like that? I had to take a closer look and figure out what was going on. Best believe I crept up on him. Peep this. I'm still looking at his skin, trying to figure out how did we get here. I could do nothing but shake my head. He could definitely use my help. I had to get to the bottom of this. He definitely needed some game about his skin. I'm just staring at it, like looking at it. Come on, bro. I knew what to do. I had to reach in my bag and get that Tiege Hanley. Uncomplicated skincare for men. Bro, this is why I'm excited to have Tiege Hanley as a sponsor of today's video. They have helped me start and maintain my skincare routine by making the entire process uncomplicated. Honestly, it's the best skincare system for guys like you and me. I recommend you start with their level 1 system, which comes with all the basics. A daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and the grime on your skin, a 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells, an AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun, and a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. My brother was so excited. My favorite part about Tiege Hanley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really make the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin easy. Shout out to Tiege Hanley. And because Tiege Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers a great deal. Just click the first link in the description, and not only will you get Tiege Hanley for the best possible price, but they'll also give you a free gift with your first box. Click that link and get started today for just $30. Feel the Tiege. Let the Tiege force be with you. Let's just have a conversation. How y'all doing, family? What's going on, family? Introduce the crew. We got Precious, Mr. Let Go, Lady Di, Anton, Curves, Queen Sheba, Bruiser, Lucky, Ali, me myself. I'm Lapeef JR. Welcome to Lapeef Let's Talk. What's going on, family? What's going on? How y'all doing?
Hola, hola, hola. Doing
What's
good.
up with
How are
you?
you?
Good. How are you, go?
I'm doing good. No complaints over here. Bruiser.
Bruiser looking like Walter Cronkite. Okay.
It's too early.
Here this dude go. Here he go.
Like he just won an important, like, what is it, legal case. He just won.
Bruiser is like the principal. Okay. I see you, principal.
Tell your lady to watch out.
Sheba, what's going on? I ain't seen you in a minute.
No, you saw me Sunday. Stop it.
No, I'm saying you ain't been on the I ain't been on the show with you in a minute. I miss you.
It's good to see you, Mr. Let Go. Nice to see you.
Hey,
Can y'all hear me with the mic?
Yeah, we can see. We can hear you.
Okay.
It's good to see everybody. Glad everybody can attend. Let's go ahead and get the show started. Before we do, shout out to the sponsor, Tiege Hanley, Uncomplicated Skincare for Men. Get 30% off along with a free gift. You can click in the description. That is your way to get the 30% off along with the free gift. So shout out to the sponsor, Tiege Hanley. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let me go ahead and acknowledge some of the Green Gang in the chat. We got Jordan Landry, Mimi, Jolie, Ed Hill, Big Bad Bull, the accountability partner. Shout out to all the Green Gang that's in the chat. And if you want to become a member of Green Gang, that link is pinned to the top of the chat. Come on over and let's go green. We do have a couple of super chats that came through. The Will $5 also member says Vice Principal Bruiser. There you go. I think we got one more. Let me see. I don't know what happened to it, but yeah. Appreciate that super chat before we get the show started. Again, hit the like button. Also subscribe to the channel. And time to go into our first topic of the night, which is you can't be my friend if you won't show me how to get it.
Around my billionaire buddies, I was more like, it's cool to come over your house, but I need a house like this. Yeah. It's cool to ride on your yacht, but I need a yacht like this. It's cool to ride on your jet, but I want a jet like this. And I said, no, I don't want to ride on yours. You show me how to get it. You can't be my friend if you can't show me how to get it. Because once they show me how to get it, then I can install it in my children. Then it trickles down.
It's a bloodline thing.
Yes. So it's about wealth.
All right, so we talk about friendship these days, right? And according to Money Mayweather, he says, you can't be my friend if you won't show me how to get it. Let's go ahead and just dive into it. This is the icebreaker, so it may not get a little spicy as you guys would like it to, but I think it is an important conversation to open up this Let's Talk tonight. So go ahead. Let me go ahead and start off with Bruiser, Vice Principal Bruiser.
Yeah, man, I feel the same way, man. I look at it like this: what are you in my life for if we're not helping each other grow? I mean, I got enough friends. I got a small circle. So if you're in that circle, best believe we sharing ways to, improve and help each other with self-development. So I feel what he's saying. I want to know how to get it,
All right. I'm gonna go to you, Lady Di. What are your thoughts about it?
I agree. Today some people are just really selfish when it comes to their success. They don't want to share anything. They want to keep it all to themselves. But if, as a community, nothing is to yourself. You don't get anything by yourself. So I believe people should definitely share, some of their tips and tricks on how to get what it is, as long as the person is willing to learn and, using what is taught. Some people you teach and they don't use anything that you're giving them. They're more like users, but make sure that you're teaching the right person. You could execute and figure that out. Don't give your knowledge to everybody, but definitely choose wisely on that. And, sharing is caring.
All right. Queen Sheba, what are your thoughts? You can't be my friend if you won't show me.
Initially, when I heard him talk, I was like, no. But when I thought about it, I was like, show me how to get it. That can mean various aspects of a friendship. Show me how to get it in prayer. Show me how to get it with my family. Show me how to get it with my husband, not just monetarily, right? Show me how to get it, because we have all of us have a strength that's unique to us, right? And we would like to think that our talents are 360. But I know that's not true as a product developer, right? And number one, as one of the only African-American product developers that sit at a table, that when a millionaire comes with his product, my job is to establish a return on his investment, right? So I can't show him how to get it without a team. So I think Floyd makes a lot of sense. However, if you have people that are withholding their skill set, that could impact a relationship. But on the flip side of that, you can't just give out your time, your efforts, and your money to somebody because you want to give to charity. People have to help themselves first. Otherwise, your efforts are in vain, right? And there's a lot of people that are expecting you to show them how to get it just because you got it, period. Not because of their work ethic. We see this in rap cultures. We see this a lot in rap cultures. Just because you got it, I feel like I should be able to eat off your table, right? We help those that help themselves. And so that's my thought around that when we talk about show me how to get it, because there's a lot of ways that everybody can pull their weight other than financially in a friendship. If you are the top dog financially, you may not necessarily be the top dog spiritually, emotionally, physically, right? That's why you hire bodyguards. I'm sorry. So I think there's something that everybody can contribute to the fellowship of the friendship.
All right. Precious, what are your thoughts about it? I got
I
a feeling
do.
Anton has something different.
Huh?
I just got this feeling Anton gonna have something different. But go ahead, Precious.
Oh,
As
so you
always.
can't be my
Wait,
friend
wait,
if
wait.
you
You
won't
guys have
show
it all
me.
wrong. You guys have it all wrong. First of all, what make you think? No, go ahead. Go ahead, Precious.
You can't be my friend if you won't show me how to get it. I think that sometimes people use the word friend very loosely, and your friend, iron sharpens iron. So your friend, if they truly love you, if they truly have your back, they're going to show you how to do it. Like Queen Sheba said, you don't want to give up your resources and your time to just anyone. You have to see who's in the game. Like you have to know who's going to be in the trenches with you and build your team around that. Um, it's who's staying in the game, who's not giving up, I think that people will talk a good game, but when it comes down to it, you'll see who's really loyal to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Go ahead, Curse.
Nah, I agree. Like some people, okay, so I feel like some people just want the answers to the test. And everybody can't come with you. You know what I mean? Like some people just see the end results and they're like, oh, I want that. But like, are you willing to put in the time that I put in? Or do you actually want to learn and you just want a handout? So it's like, what are your intentions with this? Are you actually my friend? Or do you just see where someone is at when they've made it and all of a sudden you want a part of that? Like, did you actually give a damn? Did you support my business? Did you support what I was doing when I was at a low level? Or do you see things thriving now and all of a sudden you want to be a part of shit? And there's a lot of people who are like that. They don't give a damn about what you got going on until they see it flourishing. Nope. And all of a sudden they're like, they want parts of it. So you can't bring everybody with you. And I'm not, that doesn't mean be stingy with information, but you have to understand who you're dealing with and do they even deserve that?
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and go to Ali, sir. What are your thoughts? You can't be my friend if you won't show me how to get it.
Just to be honest, in my experience in business, there's a lot of relationships that have been ruined over money, friendships, and family members. Given a lot of good things that's everybody said, Queen Sheba, Bruiser, Precious, Lady, like a lot of times, depending on the mindset has to be a certain way for you to even be going to business with a family member or even a friend. So I think if their mindset is a certain way, you can develop you can help them get the bag, but I don't think getting the bag is the obligation, especially if what is a friend? Like I'm trying to figure out what a friend is too. Is it a friend you grew up with, someone you developed a relationship with over time since you was a kid? Was it someone that reciprocate the same things with you that you would with them? It's hard to say what a friendship is because, like I said, a lot of my friendships ended because of money. A lot of family members that I couldn't trust was over money. So it depends on their mindset. If their mindset is different, I think I can help them get the bag, and I think I would want to suggest them build. And I think it is good if all of us was actually friends. I think we should all help each other in a utopia get to the bag. But if that person's mindset isn't right, you can't help them get no bag. They got to work on their mindset first.
All right. Mr. Let Go, what are your thoughts, sir?
Well, like just as an example, my guy Ace Metaphor, he has a card game that is extremely successful, right? So I just simply followed everything he did and it made the process easy. So I got a card game about to come out. And that's kind of like the same thing with Floyd. When you're around people who are successful at something in particular, you like, yo, show me how to do it. And if that person is like, nah, I don't want to show you because of this and that, now that might be an issue. But no, like my successful friends, and just like with me, period, with my level of success, I'm always open to share how to do things. And I talk about how even if I'm dating a woman, she's gonna learn from me. I say that all the time. I had Lady Di at one of my shows. I wanted Lady Di to come to the front so she can get to know everybody so she can eventually be on the show. You know what I'm saying? So overall, like, I think that's what friendship is when you actually see somebody and you're like, yo, I want to see them where I am. Like Ace could have easily been like, nah, I don't want to tell you like the game behind, you know, what makes my card game so successful. Because people got card games, but what makes it successful, he could have held that back because he didn't want me to be be his competition or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, no, that's a friend. He don't care because at the end of the day, we all gonna get this money. So yeah, that's a direct part of my life.
Okay. And Tom, what are your thoughts, sir?
We all wrong and we don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, let's hear it.
One, you Mr. Let Go, for the first time on the first subject, you are 100% right about what you just said. Y'all are all wrong. 1000% wrong. I guess the first thing that I have to ask myself is, why do black people always want something for free? I don't understand that. And it all comes back to, like, if you just look at like most businesses, most of your people don't really hold you down when it comes to your business, right? It's always outsiders that then support your business or the people that's closest to you. They want the hookup. They want something for free. They don't want to pay for your time. They know all of the work that you put in. They had a front row seat to all of the grind that you do. And then all of a sudden we become friends, or we not friends if you don't help me because it doesn't benefit you. What I always thought of, and what I've always, or how I've seen things, is you're unique in the space that you in. And if I love you, and if I look at you as a friend, and if it really means that much to me, because when we see stuff that happens out here in the world, right? When we really want something, we willing to do whatever it is to get it. I see chicks flying back and forth to Miami every single day when I'm jumping on, well, not when I'm on a plane, but I see them in the airport going into their terminal. We go to 2 different terminals, but I see chicks flying back and forth into Miami in order to go and get their BBLs every single day. I see people making investments in the things that's meaningful to them every single day. And now I'm not as meaningful to you if you're not willing to pay for my time. I'll give you an example. Me and Mr. Let Go was having a conversation offline or off camera or whatever. And Mr. Let Go said, yo, Tom, you know, we was having a conversation and we was exchanging ideas or whatever, right? And so it's all reciprocated, right? He pouring into me, I'm pouring into him. I think Bruiser, you was chilling there or whatever. And God be my witness. Mr. Let Go said, yo, I'll give it to you for free. I'll give you the game. I said, I don't want it for free. I value the value that you given me. I will pay you, and I don't want a discount. And I'll pay you full price, and I'll overcompensate you because I actually value the information that you're willing to give me so much. And it's going to be X, Y, Z return on whatever it is that I'm going to get as a result of it. I said that. Did I not say that, Mr. Let Go?
1000%. I agree with you.
I am willing to compensate people that add value because it's already hard enough to find people that know real information without getting finessed. And so when I see somebody that actually adds value into my life, I don't want it for free. We willing to pay the universities. We willing to go in debt and then possibly ask Biden for student loan forgiveness for shit that ain't even adding value into our life. You willing to pay 50, 60, 70, 100, $200,000 in order to get a basket weaving degree that's not even a return on your money, but you unwilling to actually invest in yourself because the person is close to you. And so now you're supposed to get it for free.
Have you paid him yet?
I don't understand that. That is wild to me because if they were your friend, then you would be actually thankful at the idea that you're able to observe as much as you got already for free by being able to have an up close and personal observation of being able to see what it is that they value. And I give anything in order to get what it is that I need in order to be successful.
Did you pay him
so
yet?
I don't understand this whole logic because that ain't no friend to me. That's a user. That's
Did he pay you yet, Mr. Let Go?
Say what?
Did you pay Mr. Let Go yet?
No, we didn't consult on that specific idea.
Oh.
So
they were in the conceptual stages.
He didn't give me the information yet, and we didn't consult, and I didn't give him the money yet. But my point is that when we exchange, and if we exchange, then I'm willing to pay for what it is that he's giving me. So I don't expect anything from anybody for free. I expect nothing. Now, I may pour into people, but that's my choice. But I'm not expecting for anybody to give me anything, especially if they're close to me. Those are the ones that I'm willing to support the most.
But just to put context, I know Lady Di, you was about to say something. There's like, even with Floyd, I don't think he was saying, give me something for free, because Floyd will work for it. You feel me? Floyd would do whatever he needs to do to put himself in a position where he can be in their position. He just don't want to ride in their car and be on their yacht. He's like, yo, how can I do this too? So just to make sure the context is right, there's a side of, hey, give me the hookup versus, yo, how do you do this? And I'll show you how to do it. And then you can pour back into that person in a different way because y'all actually are friends. Because if you're in my circle or if I'm in your circle, most likely I'll be able to give you a certain amount of game or advice or whatever back. You muted.
My bad. That's a different thing though, Mr. Let Go, because now you're talking about an exchange of equals.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Because I get just as much value from you as you getting from me. And that's networking more effectively, right? That's a difference than somebody saying that they're your friend and yo, why don't you carry me? What I've learned is that people that ask, because a lot of times you'll get way more value or you'll get stuff for free just by looking to add value or looking to pay, right? What I found is that people that ask for stuff for free, they're not really trying to do nothing anyway. They're going to waste your time. And one of the things that I've learned is that the value of my time is what I make per year divided by 8,760. Whether I'm sleeping, whether I'm on a panel, or whether I'm having conversations with my daughter, every hour is valuable because it's a finite amount of time. And if you don't know the value of your time and how much of your friends that are wasting it, as a matter of fact, I would advocate for people to actually divest themselves against majority of the people that they think is their friends, because they probably slowing them down rather than adding value into their life.
I agree to that. You got to let go of those people, because if they're not adding, especially if you're in the work of business, if they're not adding value to your business or something around it where they're, shedding ideas and stuff like that, if you're just having a friend just to watch reality TV, you're wasting your time. You got to know that your time is valuable. But Anson, I wanted to ask you, do you believe in sweat equity?
No. I don't.
Does anybody believe in that? Like, because some people
because what am I getting out of that? I mean, that's an internship, in my opinion.
Right, more like that. Because some people are not able to. So I want to separate the users. So we got people that use you, and then people that just can't afford it. Right? They could put in that type of time by helping you grow your business with sweat instead of monetary.
Yeah, but even in that situation, I got to be organic. It's a lot of people that I rock with. Aaron O, Sway, it's a lot of different people that I rock with, even on the internet, that make a lot of money now as a result of just rocking with me, but they was never looking to get nothing out of me. They didn't do it because they was trying to make money. They just did it because they was just trying to add value and they really believed in what it is that we was doing. And so I was like, yo, that dude is dope. Let me put him on, or when the opportunity presented itself, I'm like, let me put him in position. Let me make sure that he get a bag. Let me make sure that he got an opportunity. But I don't want people around me that's looking to get something out of me. That's different. Because then that means if when the opportunity presents itself, if it's not working out for you, then you'll go back and you'll slander my name as a result of it. I don't want nobody to say that. I don't want nobody to say that I owe them anything. Oh, I did this for free. No, you didn't. You didn't do nothing for free. I paid you. I paid you.
Hey, hold on.
Even like multi-million-dollar corporations establish paid internships to protect themselves. When you think about that, and any wise man will tell you that free has no value. Free has no value. People will decide, I don't want to come in today. You're not paying me anyway. So I just want to put that out there.
Sheba, can you hear me?
Can you hear JR?
Was I muted?
No, JR was trying to get you to stop talking.
You good?
I think your speaker is muted.
I think your speaker's muted. Can you hear us?
I can hear y'all. What happened? Where did I miss that?
Yeah, I was trying to tell you to stop talking real quick because he had to say something. I believe.
I was looking at y'all on this side. I wasn't looking at that. I was looking. You know how the panel's divided? I was looking at like the right side of my screen. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
I want to go to Lucky first before anybody else chime in because she hasn't had the opportunity to speak. Go ahead, Lucky. What are your thoughts?
I kind of agree with everybody, but the first thing I thought based on the video was it's based you pick your friends based on what's valuable to you. So if that particular friend has something that they can benefit from, then I agree with Anton in the sense it's not wrong for them to charge you for the time it would take. But then also it's up to that person, because I just personally think most people really don't want to learn or do anything. They want to be just fed to them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why waste your time? I didn't have to get it the way you got it. I had to actually research and do the work myself, just like the other person gained the knowledge. So I never feel like they're better than me because they have more advantages. So I agree with them as far as knowing, but I don't know. I think you pick your friends based on the value and what's beneficial to you. Some people it's money, some people it's family, some people it's relationships. So it's based on what's important to you. That's the first thing I thought. But I don't think you should be begging for anything. I think anything that's valuable is going to have a price on it, whether it's hard work or whether it's money. And if you can't afford it and you have to read some books, understand the behavior of what that success looked like. What do those people do? And start to actually repeat those certain, you know what I'm saying, hobbies and reading, meditate. Like you have to get books and really do the work. So I just think most people don't want to do that. So they beg. That's just the first thing I thought.
Well, some of these ladies, y'all got an extra asset. You might have to shake what you got to get what you want. Ain't that what Diamond from the Players Club said?
Yeah, but that's not realistic. The average woman doesn't want to be out here sucking dick for money.
Yes, they do.
They don't. Do you just meet the average woman? They don't. They might. If that's the case, OnlyFans wouldn't be so big. You selling a dream to people. They're not actually screwing nobody unless that's what they want to do.
Yeah,
but
they're paying for a
there's
fantasy.
other things that people are willing to do.
Are you telling me that most women is not giving up everything?
First of all, I don't hang out with most women.
I didn't say you.
I'm just saying,
I didn't say you. I didn't say who you hang out with.
You said it myself. I mean, I have to have some sort of knowledge about it, and I don't. So I'm a.
Why do they do this?
I mean, listen, none of us have no statistics.
Why do they do this?
You just want me to say
Why?
No.
Why do
Listen,
why do y'all do this?
What you mean, Mr. Lego? Why do they?
What?
Nobody have no statistics. The whole idea behind y'all being hypergamous. When y'all get married and y'all looking to retire, what are y'all returning in value?
We're going off of the video. He was talking about.
No, we're not. What I'm saying is, no, we not.
So I didn't get to answer the answer video. So
okay, my bad. Go ahead.
Okay. So based on the video, he's saying if they're in the yacht, I want my own yacht. You know what the fuck it takes to get a yacht? You talking about $76 million. That's play money. So, and I'm at the start. So whatever knowledge he got, they're more than likely going to charge you if they have the time. But if they don't, I want to know how you network. Who do you know? What impressions can I make? There's other ways you can get in to understand what they do. What are their habits? And that's what I was going off the video.
So Lucky.
How do most women get into that circle when they don't have
right? Because Lucky, the women usually don't have that network or that work ethic, not that higher level of work.
I didn't know that
they just have ass
on gender. I thought
they don't have the network or none of that. They just have ass.
I think it's safe to say the women I know. I think what you should say is the women I know don't have the assets, the work skills, the character traits to get into that circle unless it's sexual. I think that's only fair. I think
the women that you probably know.
No, I'm talking to Mr. Lego. I think if you're going to put a blanket statement out here, I think if you're going to go blanket and categorize all women, you have to talk about what you know from your experience.
Sheba, we're not going to do the all women mess because it's dumb. We're not doing that. The typical woman does not have a network of millionaires. What are you talking about?
Wait, why are we flipping what I said like that? I didn't put a price on nothing. I said it's based on what's valuable to you.
Well,
We're
you
not
said
speaking
something about a yacht.
specifically about
Hold
you.
on,
Maybe
hold on,
you have
Anton. She
credit
said something about
knowledge.
a
Maybe
yacht.
you have real estate knowledge. Maybe you
Hold on,
have.
Lucky. I get what you're saying, but remember, you said a $78 million yacht, right? That was your example,
Because
right?
that was Mayweather's. That's what he said in the video. My friend has a yacht, and I said, do you know, based on him, whatever his value was, he gonna really have to work, because do you know how much it costs for the average yacht?
Right. And then Anton came in and said, how can a woman do the same thing? She does not know anybody unless she's screwing them with a yacht, is all we're saying.
Question, clarifying question.
Okay.
When you say, Anton, how can a woman do the same thing? Are you asking how can a woman own the same yacht based at the same value? Or are you asking how can a woman circulate in these circles? Just so that I make sure I'm
How
following.
can a woman get in the room to even
Right.
speak to a person who owns a yacht? That's
Right.
what I understood.
Right.
Okay,
Okay.
so I get what you're saying. It's most of the time they're hoeing, right? But I've never been in those circles, but it depends on where you live. Because if you're somewhere like LA, you could be going to school with somebody whose mother is somebody, and boom, you're at their house for dinner. You could be, and it could be college. It depends on your age. You can work with somebody who, yeah, they at Starbucks, but you don't know whose cousin that is. So it really just depends on how you meet people. You may have a friend. It's very common depending on where you live. So if you get to the point where you're actually on someone's yacht, is my point, you've already been in that circle. Now you need to understand who can I be friends with if you cannot afford them to teach you, if they care to. But I'm saying the everyday person don't just have a yacht. So to be on a person's yacht that you actually can know based on the scenario, I'm saying your circle is already pretty good. So what can you work with? Use your tools. What skill sets maybe you can work with him and be his accountant. Maybe you can also do some book, whatever it is that person needs. I don't know.
And but it's a strong possibility that the thing that she working with.
No, that's what you're assuming.
So Lucky, do you think
that's a reality.
that most women today, if they're in a circle full of people with assets and everything, that they're giving in, something that person could gain, or are they, hoeing around to stay in those places?
Let me answer it like this.
I know, right? I know, Anton.
Oh no, why y'all always got
stay in the room? Don't run out the room.
No, I'm not. I'm trying to answer it. So when we shift the questions and we answer, it's like y'all want to direct the female to only thing she doing is some whole shit. But the first thought that I have when y'all respond like that is, since a woman even in entertainment, a man in a certain position has always wanted a woman to do sexual something, especially if she's attractive. That's what they want. So sometimes a woman's end goal may not be something where, it has something to do with sleeping with him. A lot of women may have morals, but if she doesn't and she wanted that bad, she may be doing something for him based on what he wants to get that role. But that's not assuming everything.
Like what?
So you tell me, what would you do?
So, well,
what could she be doing? I'm just saying, what could she be doing?
You tell me. You've been in those rooms.
I haven't been on a yacht.
But you're speaking from some sort of experience. So
Lucky, do not use the attacks. We're just asking a general question.
Not attacking. She just asking.
I never said me personally. I just said like
hilarious.
You said, and then you said, well, you've been in the rooms. We don't know what rooms I've been in.
But you brought it up. That's not where my mind went first. You brought it up as if, and you're trying to guide me to the answer you want me to answer. So I just
asked the question. I said, like, what? What else could she be doing?
You're the millionaire up here. So you closer to a
Lucky.
yacht than I am.
Let me say this. Let me say this. Like, the way I add value, as an example, right? I connect people with other people. I know a whole lot of people, right? So somebody will be like, yo, really? I help people connect with other people. You feel me? So it's a lot of different ways that I add value to the circle I'm in. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at what value you as an individual, as a woman, bring to a group of millionaires, not saying it's you, but if you're a woman, what value do you add? Because in most cases, it's going to be your beauty or actually your sex.
Mr. Lego, think about it like this. Let's just put it in perspective. Let's remove the yacht aspect. I'm so far removed from the yacht. I don't know if anybody else is doing yacht parties. Anton has never been on a yacht personally. But let's take something more realistic. We know that the overwhelming majority.
Wait, hold on. Yacht parties? We were just talking about.
No. We talking about hanging out.
Don't just be changing topics.
They're moving the goalposts, Lucky. They're gonna drill down and make you wrong no matter what.
I'm saying that. Listen, let me tell you why all of this is relevant. Because the original conversation was based off of, well, if you my friend, then you're gonna show me how to get it, right? And I believe that most people, men and women, there are very few people, men and women, that exist in the room together and they spend an extraordinary amount of time and they're truly friends without any kind of ulterior motives along with it. And so if a woman is in the room, considering the conversation that was started in the very beginning, it's a strong possibility, not all, right? But it's a strong possibility that she has to be adding some type of value to the men in the room because overwhelmingly the men hold the majority of the wealth. And so if you really start to break that down and you say, okay, well, what is she doing here on the yacht? And she's not necessarily a wife, but she here standing around asking questions.
She's the assistant.
Let me bring it back. So
the dog walker, the nanny.
No, I just wanted to show you what the relevance
dog walker.
On a yacht, you are absolutely right.
Show you what the relevance was. Now let's bring it back to reality. The overwhelming majority of these chicks that wind up in Dubai is getting flown out for a reason, and they're not necessarily booking the trips themselves. And so what I'm saying is, when men go to Dubai, they go into Dubai for a reason. When women end up in Dubai, they get flown out there for a reason.
Right.
It's a difference.
What kind of man?
Understand?
Yeah, that's true.
That's understandable. But
what kind of man are we talking about?
Yeah.
No, okay.
You have the oil and gas industry. You have the healthcare industry. That's a global booming billion-dollar industry.
And you also got the camel. You got the camel shitting industry.
Yeah, I agree. So you have about 25%. You're absolutely correct that go there.
87% of the women that end up in Dubai, they either getting flown out there and getting buzzed down. They get over there getting buzzed down.
Anton, you just said most men.
Possibility that half of them, they got a camel taking a dump on.
You said most men that go, but I'm saying
why.
Ladies, let me ask y'all a question. So if y'all were invited on a yacht, forget about why y'all are on there, right? And say is, of course, mainly men. And you say you own a business, or you supposed to be there because you own some shit, right? And you're on there and you're just hanging out, having drinks or whatever. And a random woman comes over and befriends you and y'all start talking or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is the thought going to hit you like, what do you want? Like, you don't know nothing. Get out of here. Or are you going to be like,
you can tell by way of conversation.
Because it's by the conversation, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if, say it's 50 men, not say 20 men and 10 women, right? Out of those 10 women, how many of those 10 women you think they are on to get on a yacht to get buzzed down?
That's not proportionate. It'd be more like
really what
it'd be more like 20 women and 5 men.
Okay, so
about 70%, I would probably say about 70%.
All 20 of them, all 20 of them is doing work.
Do you think, Sheba, did just get ran through?
Based on my experience, I've been on yachts, but let me back all the way up for what I used to do when I graduated from college. First of all, I was an international flight attendant. International, right? Dealing with all type of men that could afford whatever and fly. So you establish friendships, you go places, you see a lot of shit that you keep your mouth closed about. So based on what you're asking me, how many women in a room of Anton that says 20 are there to, it is what it is. I'm going to say about 70 to 80% based on what I've seen. And you keep your mouth shut and you leave the next day, about 70 to 80%.
So you
agree? Not all of them. I just want to say not all, about 70 to 80%. And you keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
And you leave And then I may fly with them to the next place.
Make sure
and
you don't
fly.
slip on nothing while you walk.
You gotta be good. You gotta be good looking to get more than just.
And they don't bother to help. Does that make sense?
So if you didn't get bust down, it means you ain't have it together. That's all that.
No, that's not what that means. That means those are men that are professional, that recognizes the value of talent. No, I didn't get bust down. First of all, because I have morals. First of all, every woman ain't a hoe.
You didn't have morals.
Hold on. Let me answer his
Never
question.
said you.
One at a time. Because Bruiser's assuming that every woman, y'all, one at a time. I can only answer. Let me answer Bruiser. So you're saying because I did not hold myself out as a working woman, as a college graduate, that I was not desirable. How about I have morals? How about my family raised me right? And I was
the only person on there.
Hold on, Mr. Let Go. Let me answer this.
Hold on,
because not every woman is a hoe. Some women are raised right. Some of y'all have daughters, and I hope you are instilling. Some women walk away with what their family has taught them and say, "I'm cool. I'm here to do my job, and I'm out of here." So you are saying, Bruiser, that every woman that shows up to work, I just want to clarify, and if she's not sleeping with a man, she ain't shit.
To the
yacht. Is that what you're saying, Bruiser?
Context, yacht.
I said she ain't have it all together. That's why she ain't get
bullshit.
Down. That's all I said. You added all the other stuff.
So I was going to agree with Sheba.
I'm so confused. Hold on, Lady Di, like, cause y'all be just woof. Okay, so are you talking about? He said, are we talking about this one man who has a side chick that he's flying in and out of Dubai? I heard Dubai. Or are we just talking about
the yacht? We're still on the yacht. Lucky.
Talking about just
y'all, they're talking about us. If I ask all the ladies on this panel once upon a time, to come over my house for free at midnight, what do you think I'm looking for?
I think you're looking for sex.
No, hold on. Lucky, really?
No, I've been to a lot of kickbacks that start late.
No, we're saying typically, not the exceptions.
His house.
Everybody, no, at my house, people, you funny.
It depends on how many people.
No, lucky. Without going to the exceptions, you keep going to the exceptions. For the most part, if I invite you to my house for free, I'm asking all the women.
First gonna be the one to be real.
I truly don't understand why this is hard
because First probably gonna be the only one to keep it 100. What they doing? What y'all doing?
Lord,
Precious, go ahead.
Y'all, how do y'all do this?
Everybody else BS, man.
Precious and Lady Di, go y'all.
So I used to be in the industry of entertainment. I was a dance choreographer and I was a model. I'm trying
to let it go. Don't do it.
And do you see what y'all just did? Y'all gave a subject to stick to. He just asked me randomly if I'm asking multiple people to come over at a certain time, like that scenario. But if it's you just asking me personally, then no. Like,
that's not. Hold on, y'all.
Hold on.
Just pause.
Precious been trying to say something, y'all. Y'all keep interrupting them.
Okay.
I was
interrupting them to say something. Please.
All I'm trying to say is that I used to watch women that Anton and Mr. Lego are speaking about.
This is crazy.
And literally do these type of things to stay current. Me personally, I did not. I'm agreeing with Sheba on what she's saying. I did not because I had other things to do, which was not that. So the key to that for anyone that's in the industry that is a female, you do not be friends with these men. You be friends with the woman. That's the way to get out of those situations.
So wait, Lady Di.
Bruiser said you didn't do it because you're not attractive and they didn't want you. You didn't have a choice. That's what Bruiser said.
Wait a minute. How? Okay, let me ask it like this. What woman will admit that she did something on a yacht later on in her life? Like, how do we know what we don't know?
A woman will admit she did something. It may not have been on a yacht. Now, if you say a car or a park, you just got to get the right location, Anton.
But Sheba, it's believable that you can be on a yacht without having to smash because you're you. But anybody other than you being on a yacht is getting ran through.
Right.
But I'm trying to figure out how do y'all know that unless
let me answer. Let me answer you, Lucky. You said how do we know it?
Unless we're doing it
how many? I'm about to answer. How many of y'all was consuming alcohol when y'all was drinking?
I do not drink. I've never liked it.
Did you?
I may have one occasionally.
Queen Sheba, you drank alcohol when you was out of college.
I was a college student, absolutely. But hold on,
you got bust down then.
Huh? Go ahead. Say it, Bruiser.
Ain't no
I
way
didn't
you
hear
made it out of the yacht. Drinking
I could hear.
alcohol.
But I was also a collegiate volleyball player. So there were periods that we
Oh,
could
you
not
really
drink
got buzzed
because of
down too.
training.
Did you have the
No,
did
let
you
me
have the
answer,
volleyball
'cause
body?
you can't keep cutting people off if you want an answer.
It's
But
either-
Eileen,
it's
you were
one of
trying to
two
say
things.
something, and I wanted to hear what you had.
I know, Queen. Thank you so much.
It was either one or two things. You had a good looking body, good enough to be attractive enough to get buzzed down, or you didn't. Because if you had the alcohol, you gonna say yes.
You are stupid. That is like the most asinine.
You can't beat alcohol. You don't have the ability to make the sound judgment when you
statement
intoxicated.
I've
I
ever
don't
heard.
buy
And
it.
Bruiser,
I just
I'm
don't buy
really
it.
disappointed in you because you are dressed like an intellectual principal, a lead principal of a high performing academic institution. I'm very disappointed. But go ahead, Eileen. He go ahead.
No, we were all the brothers were addressing was what would be the assumption. That's why I asked everybody if I invited you to my house for free at midnight. Most men, what are they expecting? And when you answered it, you said sex, right? If I'm inviting you and paying for your way to Dubai, what do you think that man is expecting?
Sex.
That's all the point was. For the most part, those women are having. We know, like if I'm inviting you 12 o'clock and I'm for free. But I'm paying your way to Dubai. Most men and women are expecting. I mean, I'm sure in the chat they say it too. They're expecting to give it up.
I agree with all of y'all on a one-on-one Dubai. But when Anton was talking on a yacht in groups, I said not all women. But when y'all say and you'll start to change it and use like different specific situations, then I change my stats. But absolutely, if a man is taking you, let's not even say Dubai.
You already ready, right?
Mexico.
I'm glad we finally got here.
Mexico.
That's what I was saying.
Conceptualize. If the woman is on the yacht, she's probably getting bust down. Period.
Thank you.
She has a certain look. She has a certain physique. She has a certain way that she communicates.
I mean, I get that people want to.
That's all we saying. That's all we saying. We ain't trying to make y'all feel bad. It's just obvious.
You shouldn't feel bad. I mean, it's just the way. It's just statistically correct. I mean, if a woman,
I'm trying to make him feel bad for lying.
How do you that he said there's 20 men and 10 women. So are you saying all 10 women are just fucking all 20?
No,
I'm not saying all of them. Can we put it in black and white and stop dancing around it?
Hold on, y'all.
What is it? Or is that
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. The ratio would be more like 5 men, 20 women. That's usually what the ratio would be. All right.
Okay, so how many women going?
All
80 to 90%.
All of them going. All of them going. It's the pick of the litter. It's the pick of the litter.
If they're single and they're not attached to any of the men on there, they
all
all getting ran through.
The only reason one of them wouldn't get ran through is because one of them didn't get picked for that particular moment. But they all going.
Yeah.
Oh, they're paying for it. Is that what we're saying?
Like
they're
that.
paying
She's
for
the one who
women
got the women on there.
Those men, I'm just trying to wrap it up so we can just put a stamp because everybody got their interpretation. So are we saying the men that are in those places with yachts are paying women to come on the yacht and sleep?
No, they're inviting women on the yacht.
So women are just
being on a yacht. You got to give up some
ass.
No,
like.
I would say it's both.
Women know what time it is.
It's a different form of prostitution.
Hold on, y'all.
If you're in that type of setting and you're with those type of men, you know what time. But I don't know why we're trying to pretend women ain't get. You're not on the yacht reading the Bible, doing scriptures. You're getting down. And if you look at the videos. If you look at the videos of women on yachts, what are they doing? They're twerking, showing
they twerking, half naked.
They're those are on rental yachts. So like y'all conflating the situation.
Rental.
You gonna use Instagram?
Lucky, you just assume that it's a rental yacht. It's a rental.
Renting them just for that purpose. We're talking
they still getting bust down though, Lucky.
Okay,
they still get bust down. I don't care if it's
it don't matter if it's a rental. They renting your ass.
5, 6 different scenarios going on.
Everybody, cool it for just a second.
Like one person
They can't hear anybody if everybody is talking at the same time, y'all. They can't hear nobody.
Lucky is in her feelings. Like I think she's been on a yacht.
I don't feel nothing. I'm Lucky. Don't try to insinuate anything because you got on red today. I'm just we're just having a conversation and how I have conversations.
Yeah.
Anton gave a scenario. 5 people jumped in, so I'm still answering that scenario, but I'm off because you said something. So I'm the scenario. So
We've
we're
been talking
talking
about a
about
yacht through the
usually a
whole
man
time.
who has that much money is not just frequently having a whole bunch of bitches around him. He might have one side chick, and she might bring some girls, and they're popping pills and doing other stuff. Let's be real. If we up here. So where a
Lucky,
man
if I
that
rent a yacht
sexual, if
and
he's
I had
booking women,
20
those
women
women
on
are
there,
Let her
like,
finish, Mr. Lego.
Yeah, let her finish, Mr. Lego.
Because you're gonna say something and I'm gonna have to respond to that. So what I'm saying is, so we can get it on the same page. In that scenario, those type of men, if he's trying to have her on the yacht and we're no longer on the situation as far as your friends being of value. Okay, so I'm trying to follow y'all moving from the original topic. So since we're on do hoes be hoeing on yachts, they do. But also, I'm saying, are you trying to assume that every woman on the yacht is fucking? It would be for the men who have such experience with ordering women on yachts.
so
Tell
look,
me,
real quick, Lucky,
or are you fucking five?
everything that you just said is everything that we've been talking about. Anton originally asked if you have a network of men, they all are in your network, and it is a shared understanding that I give you this, you give me that, because I know this person, or you know that person, I make this money, I have this busy business, we can actually share notes. But when it comes to the typical woman being in this environment with men that are networking with each other, what is she bringing? Most likely ass and not a network. That is literally what we've been talking about through the whole time.
Right.
Can I say one thing, Lucky?
I'm sorry, I just want to, but you understand the video JR brought up was talking about a friendship. So my answer, I'm not fucking my friend unless you're saying that's the only value he would have her as a friend is if they're fucking. Is that what we're saying?
Well, other than that, what else would that
I think at a basic
female friend
level,
be bringing?
I think at a basic level, Anton and Mr. Let Go are absolutely correct. And I think as you climb the financial ladder, it becomes a little bit more complex and a little bit more sophisticated operation. If you think about that guy, he got charged. I cannot think of his name. He got charged with like flying those girls out to private islands. If y'all can help me think of his name, there was some. What's his name?
Epstein.
Jeff Epstein.
Yes. Now,
Epstein.
if you understand the story, initially there were women that were willing. Period. But his appetite grew. He didn't want the willing. He wanted the ones who were not willing, and the willing started to groom the unwilling. So this is where I have to agree. This is where I have to agree with Lucky. At certain points, depending on the sophistication of the operation, you have some that are just there and they don't even know what's about to happen until they are groomed. So
that was different though, Queen Sheba, because those were kids.
They were. But women, women groom them, Anton.
That's why I mentioned drugs, Anton, because I don't know how adult we want to get. There are some women who are friends. They're just there as a friend, and they're on the yacht situation.
Go ahead, y'all.
I'm not saying they're drugging them. That's not what I'm saying. But they be popping.
Right. What are you talking about? That's why I mentioned drugs. I'm so confused.
Those people on those parties, they be on e-pill, ecstasy. They're doing sexual stuff, but there's friends of friends who aren't doing that. Like,
so it goes back to what we've been saying. The reason why the chicks are on the yacht or whatever is to smash drugs or no drugs.
Let me just say that. Let me just add one thing. Queen Sheba almost had me.
Hold on, the principal is speaking.
Go ahead, she almost had me. You know what I'm saying? She was just being so eloquent with what she was saying about Epstein, dude. And then, I'm over here taking notes. And then Anton said, "But that was for kids." And she was like, "You're right." So I had to borrow my damn paper, my notes up, and throw that shit out the way.
But it didn't matter to the men.
Talking about my degree and my expertise as a principal.
Yeah. But it didn't matter to men.
Liberal arts.
That's beautiful, Bruiser. And you coming. You're developing, but you're not there yet. But you're almost there. And listen,
you don't.
No, I love you, Bruiser. You know you're one of my favorites.
I love you too, then. All right, cool.
Yes, but the men didn't care, y'all. So that's why I talked about the appetite of the man as it grows. Because certain men with a certain caliber of money do become bored with ordinary sex and ordinary consent. That's all I want to say. That's a
She
real
is,
world
she is
thing.
So what do you
absolutely
do when
right.
they get bored?
And they
She
do
is,
drugs.
no. She is
That's facts.
absolutely right. She is 100% correct.
Yep.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and move on, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, just tuning in. Welcome to Lapeef Let's Talk. Make sure you guys hit the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let's go ahead and get to these super chats. Tay Biz TV 499 says, join the bag chasers, Time Dog. Salute to you and JR for continuing to have the conversation. Del Will, I read this one already, but Vice Principal Bruiser. Tay Biz TV became a member. Salute to you, sir. Cam Combe 199. Appreciate you. Spencer Campbell $5 says, if you want what I know, come ask me. The average bro 499 says, hey Lucky, can you please say age ain't nothing but a number, throwing down ain't nothing but a thing? Question mark. Arnold Allen the third $2 says, Ali, wipe your camera off. So he wants you to wipe your camera off, Ali.
Ali, it look like you got a condom around your camera, just so you know, around your phone.
King Rock 499 says, for the coaches, do you think you attract or turn away clients based on your behavior on Thursday shows? First impressions are lasting.
Most of them don't even know our real names. Let's start there.
MC Heavy Tits 499 says, if I'm getting on a yacht, I'm probably giving it up. But I'm
Look at her picture. We already know she going. Like, come on now.
Oh, don't do it.
Hey, don't y'all talk about heavy tits.
Don't shame her. Don't shame her.
We're not gonna talk about heavy tits. Heavy tits has been a long-time supporter of the Lapeef Network.
But she did say she's gonna go though.
Why are
just so
you
you know.
surprised that if she
Heavy Tits is a long-time supporter of the Lapeef Network.
What did I say that was wrong? So when you looked at her
The
picture,
way what
what
you said was wrong was if you look at her picture and your silhouette right now, it's not that big of a difference as far as who will bust it.
But what I'm saying, that's fine. That's totally fine. But we sitting up here saying as if that would be a shocker. So if you think that of me, most people are calling me a hoe just because of how I look. Or
No, we're not calling you that.
So I'm not even tripping off that. I know the real. But what I'm saying is, don't try to just assume that looking at a picture that you would disagree with that. So if we still on the subject and not taking little
you'd have to assume, that's all you have to assume.
Yeah.
If all movies is out
go ahead and keep it pushing. Little Ba $5 says, shout out to the pretty and elegant Precious. Representing Jersey as well. I like her hairstyle, looking like Nia Long and Friday. Deemer $5 says, let's get the likes up. I'll catch this on a replay at work tomorrow. Stay true to y'all point of view and keep up the great content. Peace and love. B. Taylor says, Bruiser, you're always talking about a bust down, but your wife had her titties out online not too long ago. What do you
Shout out to B. Taylor. Bruiser, you want to answer that?
B. Taylor, after she had him out, you want to know what I did after the show? She probably get jealous of that too.
B. Taylor 499 says, shout out to Queen Sheba putting Bruiser in his place. Clyde Adera, $1. Salute to you. MC Heavy Tits again, 499 says, now I will say the rest of the dudes will be mad because I'm only giving it up to one, the yacht, even if it's just the captain. To go $5 says, Lucky must have had on a yacht.
So silly.
I'm always under the attack.
Big Swole $2 says, Bruiser looking like the Black Hitman Agent 47. Cheeky Banner $5 says, women are the greatest witnesses. They see everything but never participate in the crime.
I know, right?
Heavy Tits again. I love it. Shelton Ward $5 says, what's good, family? Showing nothing but love tonight. Trigger Mike, the Bruiser look like he's about to audit our taxes. Just want to say thank you to everybody that has contributed with the super chats and the stickers and the likes. If you haven't, hit the like button. The likes are free. That's all we ask for. Anything else is just a bonus, but just hit the like button. It's free. And also make sure you go ahead and share the stream. Now it's time to move on to our next topic of this evening, which is never let a woman get you out of character.
Ever let them see you sweat. You never let their actions dictate your emotions. You never let a woman's actions let your emotions get the best of you. I want you guys to pay attention to this, listen to this, and digest this. When a woman does something to you, right? When she violates you, when she try you, you know, when she does something to get under your skin or she disrespects you or whatever, she knows what she's doing already. She already know. She thought about it before she did it. The reality is she just don't care, because if she did, she wouldn't be doing it. So you calling her, you funky bitch, you cheated on me and you took everything. You fucking hurt me. How could you hurt me like this? How could you do me this way? I thought what we had. You wasting your breath, but they don't care about it. They laughing at you on the inside. You're not going to convince them that what they did was wrong or what they did was immoral. You're not going to get no sympathy from them because they thought about it.
All right. Never let a woman get you out of character. Let's go ahead and talk about it. I'll start with you first, Ali.
I agree. Essentially, our women will typically initiator-wise be a reflection of our leadership. So if a woman can get you out of character, she'll already know you unfit to even lead her or be able to be in control of any situation. So in my world, if she can't get led, she's gonna get left.
Okay. Lucky, what are your thoughts about it? Never let a woman get you out of character.
I don't think you should let anyone get you out of character unless that's just another part of your character. I think everybody has different sides of them that, if triggered the right way, they may respond accordingly. But I think other people have operated and exercised certain abilities to be able to not get out of character under no circumstances because they have a lot more to lose. A lot of things can factor that in. They have a family. So I don't think you should ever but we're still human. So sometimes we may react off of emotion, but I admire the people who don't. So yeah, I think.
All right. Curves, what are your thoughts about never let a woman get you out of character? Going once.
Yeah, you definitely anywhere, but he personally sounds hurt.
Just answer the question. Don't start with all this mess. Come on now.
Listen, Mr. Let Go. Yeah, right there.
Yo, internet.
I feel like sometimes.
Curves, I'm gonna come back to you. To go back out and come back in your internet. Yeah, just make sure that
your internet sounds hurt.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and go to Texas. What we talking about? Never let a woman get you out of character.
No, I don't. Right, never let a woman get you out of character. Let to me means allow. You know, whatever you allow will continue. And so, you know, if you allow a woman to get you out of character and she continues to do it, then you're to blame, because she knows that she can keep doing that. She knows that she can run and walk all over you. So I don't think anyone should let anyone get them out of character, but definitely not a woman, because women are emotional. Women are sometimes irrational. And if you are a man of character, then you're not going to allow that. Like Ali said, if you're not, you know, being able to be led, you got to be left.
All right. Queen Sheba, what are your thoughts? Never let a woman get you out of character.
I kind of agree with a little bit of what everybody had to say on the panel. I think it's absolutely correct. But I think it was Lucky that said you never let anybody get you out of character. However, we are all human. We all gonna have a moment, right? We all gonna have a moment. You decide how that moment is played out. So we do our best to maintain. We do our best to sustain a little bit of balance. And I always feel like when you come out of character, you stayed too long. And then you have to look at yourself and say, why in the hell did I stay in this shit so long that I'm coming out of character? The time you come out of character, you didn't stay too long. Does that make sense? You know, you should have left a long time ago if they didn't got you there. So that's a level of accountability. Probably about 7 years ago, I had to look at myself. And I said, damn, it started off with him being wrong, but my reaction to the wrongness, that's on me, because what is it about me that made me stay in this shit that long that I came out of character? You know, I had to really do a deep dive before I met my husband. And this was a man that I thought I would marry before I met my husband. And I promised myself from moving forward, from here on out, I'm going to show up differently for myself first. and from my husband secondly. I didn't even know I was going to be married. Does that make sense? I remember I'm going to get real personal, and I don't share my personal shit because I got made fun of one time about a damn motorcycle on social media. And I thought it was a positive example, but I've learned my lesson. But I'm going to give y'all some real tea. I had came out of character, nothing bad, right? But it was out of character for me in the way I like to live my life. And I remember I was in my kitchen. I had my nice little apartment, and I dropped on my knees and I told God, I don't ever want to do that again because I know better, and I know the kind of person I am. Take that away from me, and I need you to take it away that I don't even miss it. However long that takes, I don't want to shed a tear, but I will never come out of character again behind a man or a woman. That's the first thing. I had to hold myself accountable. And then I had to forgive myself for staying too long. I'm serious. I don't know if I'm getting too deep. This is me taking accountability. Because I was
you
like,
ain't getting deep enough. I need some more details. I mean, what the hell?
I stayed too long. That's all you need to know. Just okay. Let me give you some details. Okay. I'll give you some details. Let me go there. You said you married a woman for benefits a couple of shows ago, and then you decided that didn't work for you because no matter what you did, you didn't love her, and you left. Same thing. It wasn't benefits, but the same threshold that you have, and you got to a point, I can't do this. I got to a point that I can't do this. May not be the same as yours, but I got to the same point that you got to. But I also decided that moving forward in my relationship, I was going to be healthy. So that shit did not work out. It was going to be because of him and not me. And I love my husband, and I would not trade my husband for anybody. Go ahead. But I showed up differently, and I made the conscious decision to show up differently with a man, whether he hurt me or not. I am responsible for my own behaviors and my own actions. And if it gets to a point that I cannot respect him, then I need to leave. And that's me taking accountability. And that was my talk with myself.
Can I just say something? I'm sorry, Bruiser. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. If you want to interrupt, go ahead. I'll go after you.
I wasn't interrupting.
Well, she had said something to me, so I felt like it was my turn to go after her.
Strive to be class clown in life, but I get you. What I'm saying is, what I'm thinking of is when we say out of character, do we not have different things that can pull out a certain characteristic of us? Like maybe your limit is more extreme than that person's. You know what I'm saying? They're not at your level of peace or whatever. Some if we're talking about relationships tonight, usually in what I've seen, I always go from experiences. I've seen relationships with men and women where men may try to leave a situation that's hostile, and a woman in that situation is pushing his limits. He responds. You get what I'm saying? It's not going to be what she like, but he responds. I've seen that more times than not. And she cries and says it's one way. He says it's a different way. So I wouldn't say he got out of character. She just pushed him to a limit to see a certain character in him that she didn't know was there. So I don't really believe in, y'all gonna be mad at me tonight. I'm pushing limits. I don't really believe in the whole out of character. I just think that some people you might bring out another character you don't like. If you like seeing this character, then keep me here. You know what I'm saying? It's not really out of character. I just have different sides.
All right. Here it is. So character is more than just a response to disrespect. It could be your state of mind, up to your physical health, and many other things. And speaking of women getting people out of character, shit, body positivity, sexual liberation, got all types of women out of character.
But you were out of character. Anton asked you a couple of weeks ago, you said you didn't love your wife. And when Anton asked you why, you could not give a deemable answer. And when Anton dug a little bit, hold on, let me finish. When Anton started to dig a little bit deeper and he brought it a little bit down on a lower level where you could understand, when he broke it and peeled it back layer by layer, because it took him a little bit of time, it all came down to the money for you. So what does that say about your character?
First of all, I never loved her.
But you shouldn't have married her. And Anton asked you that. And when he finally got to it, you admitted that you married your wife for an extra $200 of military benefits.
I'm trying to answer you. I'm trying to answer you.
Did you or did you not say that? Because you've been interrupting everybody.
Let me respond.
Did you or did you not say that?
Well, I didn't marry her because I loved her. So
no, that's not what you said.
You can't. First of all, I'm telling you what I said.
I never loved her and I never wanted to have a child. And I married her because I could get $200 extra a month off of her head.
Did not just say I never loved her. You just said what I said. And then you're gonna say I shouldn't have married her. How can you say
he asked you that? He asked you why you did.
How can you say what I should or shouldn't do?
He asked you and you could not give a deemable answer.
What did he ask me? What did he ask me that I did never answer?
He said, so you mean to tell me you left your wife because you didn't love her? And you said, yes, I did. He said, make sense. I left
my wife because I knew that I was in a marriage. I realized I was in a marriage for the wrong reason. And I knew
he asked you why.
I knew that if I left, I could give her a chance at an actual marriage.
That's not what you said then.
Well,
when he asked you.
Well, if you look at the video, I really didn't get to explain what I wanted to say because I was being cut off just like you're cutting me off right now.
Okay, can I go? Because nobody cares.
So my point still stands about character.
Okay, so let me say this. When somebody goes out of character, the person actually regresses. People or whoever they are, right? But usually when somebody goes out of character, that means a certain amount of trauma done caught up with them. And now they're in there, like just like y'all talking about, if a woman starts fighting you, if say you fight her back, well, you're regressing because that's how men regress. We actually fight, run, or something like that, or whatever. So if a woman is in my face acting a fool or whatever, I'm not going to go out of character. I'm going to just leave and pull away or whatever. So going by what Sheba said, yeah, people spend too much time with the wrong person and that person takes them out of character because it's most likely something, this whole situation with staying with somebody is bringing out their childhood trauma in some type of way. Maybe they wanted to leave their mama house and they couldn't, or they wanted to do this and they couldn't. And then you in a relationship and you feel like as a grown man or a grown woman, you can't leave. And you're literally in this relationship as a child without even realizing it. So when you are out of character, that means there's still something in you that still needs to be worked out before you move forward, whether this person or whether it's another person.
So if a woman is in your house and it's one of them hoes you brought back from the yacht, and she in your house and she leaving, and y'all she don't want to leave. Let's say she whatever, and she in your face, and you like, girl, get the hell out of my house, and she's still all in your face, and she pushing you and she's socking you. There is no response you have to that because your character is just so superb and above that. And
no, it's not that. It's so superb. I got to protect myself.
So what do you do?
Listen, I'm going to either call the police and get her out of here. And the 911 person going to be hearing her yelling and be like, all right, they on the way. So you're welcome to stay, but I just want you to know the police are on the way. And I'm just going to sit back and have the police, like the 911 person, listening to her yelling. And she's just going to make her case worse by the time the police come. So now she has an option, either stay, keep acting a fool when the police come, or she can just get the hell up out of there and I'm out of it. So that's what I would do. So no, she's not going to bring me out of my character.
First of all, I ain't bringing that hoe back to my house.
I'm not bringing that hoe out of my house, back my house. Exactly. So that's how a man deals with an irate woman. He don't run around fighting her back and all that shit.
Yeah, I was just understanding limits because I've seen them tested and I wouldn't necessarily.
Now, see, they different from me. I'm using that whole head like a.
It's not trauma.
That hoe going out the same way. She's going out head first, bro. She going out head first. So I'm gonna use her head like a battering ram, and she getting the fuck out.
So Anton, it's trauma if you respond like that, though. You have some sort of childhood trauma.
Yes.
No.
If Anton does that in real life, he has a lot of childhood trauma.
Would just get pounded, and adult gets socked on.
That's not trauma. See, the reason why all of y'all wrong is because if you have to stay in character, if you got to stay in character, that means that's not you.
I was trying to say, can I say what I want to say first before you even go with your speech? What I'm trying to say.
Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna let you rock. I'm gonna let you rock because you know I'm about to cook.
You know, I know. Let me just say something. I was actually gonna say something like that. Basically, if a person if a person gets you out of your character, that's you. right? That's your character. That's how you are. That's what you are. So in my opinion, I believe people should change their character. It don't matter who's doing what to you. Don't be this way if it's going to execute something that's negative. You need to be more in a positive way, because it don't have to be a woman. It could be anybody. It could be your kid. It could be anybody that's in your family. If someone is able to get you out of a character, then that means that's who you are. Why do you want to be something that's bad? Be something that's more good for you and your soul, not for what is not gonna benefit anything if you are portraying something that is not right. So if you want people to change character, right? So if a person is sitting here trying to take you and trigger you, remove the trigger. Ain't nothing to get you at. If you let a person continue to execute and be this type of way because they know this is who you are, that's not good. So if you remove
Right, it's on you now.
Right. If you remove it from yourself, they can't do a damn thing. They're gonna look at
Facts.
you like, damn, how am I gonna get Mr. Let Go? They don't know nothing because Mr. Let Go removed that shit already. So they're gonna try to get you in a different way, right? And then you deal with that. But if you are a character, change the character. Don't be the character. You are not, as adults, we have to learn how to mature up. So I don't believe in all that. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to be perfect, changing all these things, and we're going to be no. I'm just saying if you work on not being this particular person, is no one could get you at no time. Because just like on these panels, right? We're on here. Some of us are saying personal stuff. Some of us are not. And someone could come on here and just try to, trigger your point. And then all of us getting out of character, cursing niggas out, just like the one on the Sunday show. So why be like that? We need to be more like a positive, person. That's all I'm saying.
Is anybody that hasn't answered the question yet?
That's why Shane wouldn't let me speak, because she wanted to take my speech.
I was trying to say something first. That's all.
I agree with Lady Di. Anything that I want to add to.
You agree with Lady Me?
I agree with
Lady Di, or you agree
said.
with Lady Me? I mean me. Lady Me.
We had the same.
Lady Di, both of y'all. The both of y'all. Yeah, no, I agree with both of y'all. It makes sense, and in that way they shouldn't even be.
Curse, I actually said it first.
Just so you
know, Hold on, y'all. Hold on.
In that way.
Curse, can you hear me?
You can hear Curve.
Do me a favor.
You said
I want
what?
you to turn your cam off for a second and try talking. Let me see if turn your cam off only, and try talking. Let me see if that fixes it. Go ahead and talk. Go ahead and talk, Curse.
Does it fix it? Can you hear me? Okay. So the only thing that I was gonna add was I agree with what he was saying. You can hear me? Why everybody laughing?
Because it's suspect.
That's better. I think that's better.
It's better, but it's just
no.
It sounds the same to me.
It's big. No, it's better. Keep going.
Yeah, we'll put it together.
See your face.
Okay.
Why y'all got curves like that?
It's he told me to tell you. Wait, the only thing I wanted to add was I disagree with what he was saying, and he was like, women don't care, they know what they doing, they're upsetting you, da da da. And it's like women aren't doing shit on purpose. Some women in emotional state there, and they're upset, and they're in their feelings, and they're saying shit. I don't think they're trying to upset you. Now, some women are evil like that, and they are.
We making it. You make it. Just keep going.
We hold it together.
Change your device, Curbs, because we want to hear what you have to say.
Yeah.
Do it off camera. Keep going. Turn off your camera, like he said.
You got to talk too.
You got to talk first.
It's hard to get for now. Anyway, all I was trying to say is I did agree when he was talking about how women don't care. Some women do care. They're just in an emotional state themselves. And then they're going off, and it's just two emotional beings, and y'all are not. That's it. That's all I had to say.
I actually got a problem with.
Stop laughing at me, Anton.
I got a problem with how King Dre. I know him. He tends to always go towards these women are this and these women are that. These women, and we got to watch out for that, right? These are the type of women And it kind of like goes by how y'all ladies love to say, well, it's a woman you messing with. It's women you messing with. And I agree with y'all in this context. Like, what type of women are you dealing with who is literally trying to do this and trying to do that? No, sometimes women are like, they just start flipping out or whatever. And you as a man, you got to keep things in line. So no, women who try to mess with you or whatever and psychologically screw you up, who are these damn women? And I'm not saying they don't do that, but those are hood rats. But a typical woman gets upset, she regresses, she goes off the cliff, starts acting a fool and acting up. But your job is to regulate her, not to go crazy with her. And she's not trying to get you to go crazy with her. She wants you to pull her back in. So I just don't understand the tone of how he's saying, these women are like this. Don't let them do that. Like, bro, sometimes women act a fool, but it's not intentional, in my opinion, because I don't really understand how. So, Lady Di, you actually think women be intentional trying to push your buttons and act? I don't know.
So there are many women that actually do that. So I wouldn't say all women, because you want to use the emotional.
I'm gonna say all women.
Naturally.
Thank you.
Yeah, naturally, a woman has emotions, and it's gonna come out that way. But I wouldn't.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm not gonna. I don't want to say it like how you're saying it. I would say if you're gonna coach a woman, or lead a woman in a way where they can eventually understand, you have a teachable woman. That's different. A teachable woman that listens, they could actually change their emotional ways, right? I don't think all women should stay emotional like that. But then you have women that you cannot teach, no matter what you tell them. They're going to stay in this specific character because they feel that they're better or whatever the case is. So I would say stay away from women like that. If after a while,
but you don't always know, Lady Di. Everybody has a limit. Like
Lucky,
I said,
and this Lucky is what we should.
Mr. Lego, you got to pause. You got to let the girls talk.
Dang, take that red off. That's what's making you violent. So what I'm saying, Lady Di, that sounds good, but even you have a limit when your feelings are hurt. You know what I'm saying? Certain things can hit you to respond ways you normally wouldn't, and you don't even recognize yourself. That it can come in many different forms, not necessarily violence, but you could fall into depression, and you could feel alone in that situation based on how you're responding. You know what I'm saying? You can't necessarily control. I don't like to say what I've heard in this seminar. He said you can't control your brain as far as the thoughts that come in and things that affect you to respond. So I'm just saying in that way, like, it sounds good, but every woman, we're more prone to do that, like in many situations. So
do you think it's intentional?
So what I'm saying,
yeah, I think it's
instinctive. Whether you know or not, it's up to you. But it is most of the time it's intentional. When I'm slamming them cabinets, saying little stuff, it's intentional.
I think it's instinctive because it's a woman's nature, first of all. But then you get to a point in a relationship as a man where you recognize that a woman does have emotions, but you want her to be able to manage her emotions with you. And I think that's the difference when you get to a point where, like, can you manage your emotions or can you not? It's not that a man wants a woman to be, I think most men, most healthy men that are looking to wife a woman and have a legacy and build. Can you manage your emotions? Can you get beyond what you feel and think about what's reasonable and logical for the family, for us, and what I'm talking about? There are some women that will purposely, like Lady Di say, what is it called? I can't think of the word, that will purposely sabotage all this shit. You know how somebody say, I'll knock this fucking table over. And then there's some women, like Lucky says, that's willing to work through the difficulties of managing her emotions, even though she hasn't been taught. So I think it's a 50-50, but there are some women that will purposely sabotage your ass. I do know that. I've talked to them. I've seen them. I felt them, but there's also some that are working through managing their emotions because they do want a better tomorrow.
Well, you know what?
I think a woman needs to do that before she gets with a man, though.
Do y'all think that women, because I believe that a lot of times women that act out often at times are looking for attention and they don't really know how to direct it. So for example, a lot of times a woman will act out just so a guy can be like, you know, it don't matter if he bark on her a little bit or he grab her up and say, come here, what the fuck is you going? What the fuck is going on with your life? You know what I'm saying? Or something like that. She just won't. A lot of times women want attention. I think that one of the biggest things is that people are not situationally aware and they can't read body language. They're not really as in tune with the person that they land next to every day as they think that they are. And so they think everything is black and white instead of being able to read her or read the room. To understand what's going on, because it's kind of like a conversation, right? Think about it like this. Sometimes your chick or the dude could just want to get something off of their chest, and they're not necessarily looking for you to say something. They just looking to vent. And then other times they're looking to actually be able to have a conversation. And so I think it's sometimes, and it just comes with experience. That's not even something that is one person's fault or the other person's fault. I think that sometimes, you know, you just kind of got to observe a little bit and just kind of pay attention and see what the vibe is, or see what it is that they're going through, or something could have, a life event could have happened. And I'm not expecting her to be the same way that she was, or I might have to give her a lot more grace because, you know what I'm saying? She just caught some news and something happened in her life. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes when women act out, it's not always because she's toxic, or it's not always because she can't control herself. Sometimes it's because it's situational. I'll just say that it's situational. So it's not always like that. Now, the other side of it is because women are more emotional and men are supposed to be more masculine. The idea of it is that she's kind of looking for some direction and some leadership without it necessarily saying, I want you to be my daddy. Yeah. Right. So you just kind of got to play it by ear. But the whole character thing, I think we labeling it wrong. It's not necessarily staying character, because similar to what like Lady Di said, you also saying to stay something that you're not, because eventually you're going to break form and the real you're going to come through. Yeah. What we should be telling guys to do is maintain frame. And when you maintain frame, that doesn't mean that you don't have emotions as a man. Every single person on this earth have emotions. What we teaching you is that when you start to get more mature and you start to really paying attention to what's going on around you, you'll learn not to react to those emotions, because then that's the thing that leads to the toxicity, or it can make things situationally worse. So we need to tell guys to start maintaining frame, not maintain character, because maintaining frame means to not react emotionally to a situation that can become, you know, exponentially worse. And the other side of it is you need to continuously work on being, you know what I'm saying, becoming a better version of yourself, so that you don't ever let anybody get you off your square. And that's the difference. That's the difference.
That's good stuff, Anton. I see you with that growth.
Yeah, I think the number one thing a man's job is to regulate her emotions. So like Lucky said, if you start slamming cabinet doors or whatever, I'm just going to go over to you and just grab you like, yo, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? But like Lucky said, if you keep being erratic and acting a fool after I try to regulate your emotions and you still acting up, now you're not regulatable. You need to go. So now I'm just going to lightly pick you up by the back of your neck like a cat and just drop you off, you know, on the outside of the door, and politely close the door, and that's it. So certain women who are not able to be regulated, because you can get all the attention you want from me, but when you still acting a fool when I'm in your face and I'm giving you the attention, you're not regulatable. You got to go.
Well, Mr. Let Go, the difference is that sometimes they're not necessarily needing attention. They needing different things at different times. Sometimes you need to, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, she can't communicate that.
Like I'll give you an example. I can tell, we all grown. I can tell when my chick need to be fucked.
It's a difference. Exactly, Anton. Piss you off on purpose.
Yeah, it's a difference between when she want to be fucked.
What you're
I don't
giving
think
her.
it's on purpose. I think some people have a hard time communicating their unmet needs.
That's it.
I think that a lot of times when there's a need that's not met, you have a hard time communicating that to the person that you're with. So it comes out in a different way other than talking about it. It comes out in a behavior.
But I don't want you to tell me. I don't need you to always tell me I need to be fucked, right?
Yeah.
Like I know when you antsy and when you need to be fucked. You know what I'm saying? So
Right,
it's
but
just
you
like,
should know
Sexual
that.
frustration.
You should know that
Can I say
because
something to Precious?
Sexual
ahead.
frustration.
Precious, in a world of psychology, we called it a preferred style of communication. Everybody doesn't necessarily prefer verbal, but that doesn't mean that they are not a skilled communicator. And we have become so accustomed, if you don't say it, then I don't need to give it to you, right? And that's not true, because not everybody prefers to say it. People have different love languages, which is why they say the 5 love languages: words of affirmation, physical touch, close proximity. I'm saying the wrong thing. I think it's quality time and all of that. And I think we box each other in. All of us, I think we're all guilty. And which is why Anton said, does she really need to say it? Or
Right, but
can you observe her?
that
he
instance,
knows when she needs that. He knows when she
Yeah,
needs
we
that.
know.
What I'm
Without her saying
is,
one word.
Y'all, hold on.
right,
Put
what
it
I'm
out.
saying is people have
What is going
what the hell
on?
is that?
Can y'all
Her,
stop?
I think it's your audio, love.
Curves,
Stop,
I
y'all.
think it's yeah, it's her audio.
Go
you
ahead,
probably
Precious.
need to reset your computer. You probably just need to
Hold on,
reset.
because Precious is on to something.
He's
It's a
saying that
non-communicative.
that he knows when, you know what I mean, she needs sex. And I think every man should know that from their
No.
woman. But
It's a
if they
difference
don't,
between her. It's a difference between her needing sex and her needing to be fucked.
okay, look,
Can we let the pastor talk,
Not
please?
talking about that, Anton.
Anton, take us
Sometimes
home.
women don't
No,
know.
we are
what I'm
talking about
saying
it
is
because let me
women don't
tell
know
y'all,
how.
it's different women, right? I'll give you an example. The chick that's with Blueface, that chick is the devil, right?
Why? Why do you say
Chris-
that? I just out of curiosity.
Cause like she needs like real help in real life, like a completely different thing. That ain't no situational, you know what I'm saying, type of junk. That's a whole nother thing. And I think that most women, especially when they operating in a great environment and nothing is under duress and all of that other type of stuff, in a general sense, I think that most women that are in a relationship, that's in a healthy relationship, even those type of women sometimes will get out of character. And I don't even think it's something that sometimes they even see or recognize, but I can recognize it, and vice versa, to be honest with you, because like even me sometimes, like I might be high strung, I might be having a lot going on, and she knows there's certain things that'll just calm me down, or you know what I'm saying, or she'll be able to read the fact that I may be a little bit more frustrated from a business perspective, or it's a lot happening right here, or I haven't been sleeping. She pays attention to the things whereas I'm just going right. And so all I'm saying is that I think that body language is also a part of communication that we're not paying attention to. And we only sometimes talk about what people are saying out of their mouths, but sometimes people communicate things that they're not even aware that they're saying to you, which is why, and that's why I say experience is one of those things that leads you and learning your person, which is one of the benefits of being married, because the longer that you're with somebody, the more effectively you're able to communicate without even saying words. You can then tackle certain things or deal with certain things a different type of way without it not necessarily having to be toxic, but it's just really you paying attention to what somebody is going through or how it is that they respond in a specific event. So everything don't need to be said. A lot of times, if you listen or you pay attention more effectively, you can solve for it without having to communicate anything. You might just need to bend her over, or she might, you don't know what's going on until you really start to get connected with that person, which is why you actually being emotionally connected with a person makes the experiences a lot more euphoric.
Anton, I have a question. You and your wife have sex.
Almost every night.
Are you never verbal about it? Do you never say what you want, how you want it, how you want to bend her over, how she want to suck you from the back? Like, is that never?
No, you don't. Not as a married couple.
Huh?
No, I mean, she could be sitting on the couch, and then I just start pulling her down the couch. And then I know, then she may, for example, start fighting a little bit, like, what is you doing? And she want me to rip her fucking pants down. I know that. So it ain't nothing that have to be said. It just happens. It just is what it is.
Right, but that's after history of being with each other.
I will tell you this. We never say
you have to verbally
we
communicate.
never say
Anton.
We
You gotta look
never
at
say
things
I
outside
want
of
to
your
have
own
sex.
fishbowl, bro. It's
But
No, that
Precious,
is a
yes, to
normal
answer your
thing with
question.
healthy. That is a normal thing in healthy relationships.
Yes,
You're right. You're
Precious.
absolutely right. That
situations
should
that
happen,
has-
Anton.
How
I'm
can
not
this seem
disagreeing
like
with you at
calendar
all.
sex?
That definitely should happen. You should anticipate your partner's needs, your husband, your spouse, whatever you want to call the other person. You should anticipate their needs. However, what I'm saying is that everyone doesn't know how to anticipate or articulate their unmet needs.
You learn
be-
after you've been
because-
married for a while. You learn
Right,
each
but
other's
If you
that's
nonverbal
haven't
a
been married
given.
for a
That's
while,
a
Sheba.
given.
Yes, you will
That's a
learn
This
each
is
given.
other.
one of the
If
reasons
you
why
have
what I'm
I
not
tell
been
saying
you
is-
married,
guys.
Communication
If you
is
love
a
him,
skill
you
set.
will.
One at a time, y'all. One
This
at a
is one of the
Communication
reasons
is
why
a
I
skill
tell
set.
y'all that just randomly fucking people out here in the streets
Anton,
don't necessarily create the most euphoric experiences because you don't.
Anton,
truly
this could be
understand them or
good for
your
the
partner.
audience. And y'all keep talking about marriage. A lot of us are
Okay,
not
go ahead.
married to somebody for 80 years. Can you listen
Okay.
to what Precious is saying? That's something totally different. And you married
She
people.
said his
you
wife,
married
though.
for 30
Well,
years.
you
Talk
also
about
got to
that.
understand, Mr. Let Go, that I don't believe having sex outside of marriage. So
Okay,
I'm not
yeah. Okay,
so I can't advocate for you to do something
okay,
that
Anton,
I don't.
I get it. So look, this is what I hear from Precious. When a woman or a man does not know how to actually articulate their needs due to whatever reason, she's over here acting the fool, right? The guy goes over, checks on her like, what you going? He holding her or whatever, right? And she's still acting up and say she's not irate, but she stays quiet or she keeps withdrawing, right? Now he has to take a second to say, okay, I got to go into a different mode. Maybe she does not know how to communicate her needs. And a lot of men don't go to that mode. He just says, what's wrong with you? Why are you doing it? And he gets a little like annoyed with him, but with her. But in a lot of cases, women literally just don't know how to communicate at all.
No, okay.
That's
So
what she's saying.
I beg to differ. I think the wrong woman. That's not. So first of all, every woman that you
A
get
lot
with
of
is
women
not,
just don't know how to communicate their needs.
but it's not every woman. That's for you. It's only one. So
I
you
said
have
a
to
lot of women.
But that's the problem. You've had a lot.
Whatever. It's an issue.
I'm gonna pass the mic. I'm done.
Okay,
Well,
cool.
see,
Let me
Mr.
say
Let Go,
something.
that's the thing. You're gonna have to speak to what Precious is saying, because I speak from the perspective of a person that's been with my person for almost 20 years.
But that's
Right.
all I
So
was
what you're
saying,
saying
Anton.
should go without saying, Anton.
Right.
Like,
Let
what
her
you're
speak
saying,
instead of you
it makes
jumping
sense.
in saying, well, I was
You
married.
talking over her right now, Mr. Let Go.
Go ahead.
What you're
Precious.
saying, Anton, makes perfect sense. When you're with someone, you should, like I said before, you should learn them to the point where that verbal communication doesn't necessarily always have to happen. But before you get to those steps, that verbal communication is important. And some people don't get there. A lot of people don't get things past their lips because they're not even one with it.
Because you've been with too many people. I think that somebody said it. I don't remember who said it. Somebody on this panel said it. It was a man that said,
unmet needs come from childhood.
Not
Thank you. It goes
necessarily.
from your family life.
But hold on, y'all. After a certain point, you know better. As a woman, as a man, you know
can y'all
better.
stop? Sheba, can you stop just for a second, please? Can you please stop? This is a childhood trauma thing. It's not about, I've been married. I get it. Married. Forget about that. This is a childhood trauma thing. Sometimes when you are around your family members, your mom shut you down, your dad shut you down, and you're used to getting shut down, right? So as you are now an adult, you are so used to being shut down, ignored, and disregarded, where you get used to that.
I'm
And
the perfect person to
you
answer that.
Hold on, Sheba. And now you get in a relationship with somebody and you naturally shut down because you don't expect that person to meet your needs. So you just shut down. So now the other person does not know what's wrong because you're just naturally shutting down. That's what she's saying.
Let's talk about trauma. I'm the perfect poster child for trauma. I attempted to take my life. Let's talk about it. No, because we talk about blessing the audience. So I attempted suicide at age 18. I was a scholar student, African-American scholar student, 2 weeks away from graduating high school, on my way to college. On the outside looking in, athlete, volleyball athlete, and I don't care about sharing because I hope it helps somebody in the audience because you wanted to bring up childhood trauma and how do people overcome that to have a healthy relationship. And this is why we're here. So I don't care about being clipped or none of that because if it can help one person, I'm cool with that. God bless you.
I love that. I love that.
No, I'm for real. That's
that's real.
nothing to be ashamed. Like,
Yeah.
so I did that because I didn't even know about emotions. Come on, if we can keep it real, based on the age of all of us, we're all 30 and above. Wasn't nobody teaching me about emotions and suppressions and how to communicate and none of that. I didn't even know I was depressed at that age. All I knew is something was boiling up on the inside internally, but externally, everything looked right. Athlete, scholar, boyfriend, but no sex. That's why I tell you, I stop saying every child is having sex because they're not, right? Academics, all of that. And 2 weeks before I graduated from high school, I attempted to take my own life. And God gave me a second chance at life, which is why I have a pause and I have an appreciation for people and I try to understand. So how does a woman like me, a girl like me, shift into a healthy marriage? You decide, Mr. Let Go. You decide. You make a choice. This shit is hard. We all have that, y'all. I don't know y'all's story. I don't know the chat story, but you decide, shit, I'm going to get this. I got a second chance, whether it's prison, whether it's drugs, whether your mama was a single mother, all of that. We all got a story. And I decided, you know what? I want to do better. And when I get better, I'm going to pour into my husband. I'm going to pour into the community. I'm going to pour into my job. I don't always get it right. But in my marriage, when you say, how do you take that childhood trauma and you tell a person what you need? You got to say it. You cannot, as a grown-ass man and as a grown-ass woman, you can't keep relying on what happened to you. That's how you get left. You got to say,
you're saying
exactly touch me.
Saying.
This is what I like. Let me hug you. I'm going to come sit by you. So you know what? Today was a bad day for me. This is what I need today. And I know that sounds corny and cornballish to a lot of you that are maybe not have been trained or accustomed. You got to fight for what you want before you get it. Before you get it. So you start implementing that shit while dating. You don't wait till you get married to do a trial and error and get divorced. You start implementing. You start rocking and rolling. You get what I'm saying? And roughing it out. And if you cannot get to a common place after 6-9 months, you let it go because you say, you know, maybe that's not my person.
So
that's
Sheba,
let
me ask you a question.
Hold on, Let Go. We gotta get the other people involved first because I know they're idle. So let's get the people to speak on it who haven't spoken already.
I would like to shed light at what Sheba was kind of like adding. Like, do y'all think majority of what's happening in the world too is a lot of people get out of character because they don't know what to do when things are going good? You know, like some people can get out of character because you're happy, you're at peace, and how much you got it all together. And what it does is reflects back to you. And a lot of people think, oh, this person can see the real me. I don't deserve what this person is. And a lot of times people shut down because they don't think they're good enough for what's coming to their life. You know, do we shed light on that? Yeah, but I think it's very, very prevalent, like to the point people get to where it's too good to be true. You're around a circumstance where it's so good, it's too good to be true. It's so good to be true that you sabotage that in yourself because you don't think you're deserving of it. And I think a lot of that is happening in society today where a lot of people can't function when things are going good and they keep turning good things to bad things. So it doesn't shed light on to where they have to, do development because of that reason. But I don't know if we shed light on the fact of how many people cannot, feel secure in when things are good and they get out of character when things are good.
Absolutely. Because so many people are so used to toxicity. Can you hear me now? Are we good?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, yeah. So
first, one thing before you go, I'm sorry, excuse me.
No,
what Sheba was saying to add to it, they don't know even how to communicate it. They don't know how to talk about it. And if they talk about it, they feel like the truth will be used against them. And they're too vulnerable to do it. And if they share it with the wrong person, it just may not mean nothing to them. They're too afraid to even communicate it to what Sheba was saying. That's all I wanted to add. Thank you, Curves.
No, you're good. No, I was just saying so many people are so used to toxicity when they see normal things, when they're being loved properly, when somebody actually cares about their feelings and are there for them, it's like foreign to them. They're like, what the hell? Like, and they just naturally do things to fuck it up. And I mean, I've done it before. I'm not going to lie. And I'll just be honest. I'll put my shit out there. I've done it before. I've been toxic. And I'm like, this can't be real, and I just end up doing or saying some wild shit to destroy
Exactly.
something, and it's just because I wasn't used to something, or you know, I'm
Right.
used to someone maybe not catering or caring about my feelings outside of my own father. So it's like, if you're doing it's like, nah, this can't be real. So
You must be up to something.
mm-hmm. And you start looking at them funny, but it's just you and your own trauma you ain't dealt
Yeah.
with. So that's why I always say, make sure you heal from your own shit, and you take that time to go through and you write, journal, talk about all the shit, anything you don't want to put out there, write it down on paper, your nastiest, darkest secrets, and deal with that shit. It's a dark place, but everybody needs to do it.
Because a lot of times you get to the point where you are so triggered where you don't even know what the feeling actually is.
There you go, Mr. Lego. Go ahead, Bruiser. Lucky.
So I had a question for Anton, because he had stated something, but it kind of got too far. So here's my question: all the things you say you can learn from a woman, and being able to activate a response to a specific behavior without verbalizing, isn't it safe to say that after having this connection exclusively with one person and going to the next person can actually substantiate why trauma bonding is very challenging, and in turn justify when one may say that a woman's body count actually matters, can be used as an actual justified argument?
I think it can be used as a justified argument. I think you're absolutely right.
Okay, I was just making sure, because I got my
I
notes.
agree with you 100%. 1,000% I do.
All right, shout out to Bruiser for taking notes.
Yep.
You want to add anything else, Bruiser? Okay. Go ahead, Lucky.
I like everybody's answer. Y'all getting all deep off a relationship, but I just not like that, but just what I'm all taking from it, because I'm the learning person here. What I'm taking from it seems like the average person is gonna be dating somebody with trauma. And if we're gonna stay on the subject, and he brought up love bombing, I think it would be for the men as to why do you think the average man has to rush relationships? Because I hear the 6 months to a year thing, right? That men say he should know within 6 months to a year. But there's also the part of trauma is when he knows, that doesn't mean that he's necessarily ready. So then you have the trauma effect where, do I actually want to marry her? And you have women who are in long-term relationships with men who aren't marrying them. So do you guys have anything to add as far as from a male perspective, why you either rush it so fast or why you take so long to actually commit to something when you're pretty much using a woman's youth and everything else? That's what it seems like from a woman's standpoint. You're using her youth up, and there's manipulation going on just so you can get what you want. So can men kind of speak from that perspective as a part of that trauma, where that comes from?
Trauma. I don't see any trauma in rushing, and I don't look at it as rushing. Me personally, I can't speak for all men, but if I'm hasty or if I'm moving with purpose, I mean, I know what I want, and whatever I feel like I learned, I'm able to conquer it. So once if it's a woman I want, I know within myself, if I learn her, I'm able to conquer her, and not in a negative way to where I'm gonna manipulate her or anything. It's just she's impressionable. She's, somebody I want. And that's what I'm gonna go for. It's not gonna take me a 6 months to a year unless I gotta get established so I can be able to take care of family. But I wouldn't be pursuing her in a way if I wasn't already on my purpose.
Bruiser, do you feel like most men are moving with purpose? Do you think that some men might meet a woman who they're like, I can see something with her, but maybe they might not feel like they're financially ready for that? Or
No, it's not that. It's just
No?
most of these men, the reason why they moving like that is because they realize once the world get a hold of these girls, it's just no turning back. So you got to hurry up and wife these girls before society turn them into sluts.
Okay, let me jump in because Bruce is about to start trolling.
No. I mean,
I think it's a damn if you do, damn if you don't. Just going by what Lucky said. She just said some of these men know what they want, and it's 6 months to a year. Then some of these dudes take all this time and waste their youth. Damn, what do you want? You know what I'm saying? What if the dude take too long, you mad? If the dude move fast, you mad? What the hell is you talking about? So this is one of the issues that I always say, never pay attention to what the hell women is talking about because they don't know what the hell they want.
Why
So
do you remix people words and start saying
hold
what
on,
the heck you talking about?
hold
Like
on.
we just saying.
Okay, go ahead.
Cause that's what you've been doing.
Question.
That
yeah,
was
but he
what you
remixed
said.
what I said, so I want to answer it properly. You said you do or you don't, but no, I'm speaking from that's a trauma thing that men do when it comes to interacting in relationships. That's a real thing. So
which one though? Both?
Both
you take
of
too
them,
long
yeah.
or move too fast?
Yeah, both of them. It's a sense of trauma. Either I'm fear of commitment, or I actually going to move too fast because I'm scared you may leave, or whatever the case may be. Those are two different aspects. So I would like an answer from both.
I can understand that because it could be like a safe middle ground. Like, so I get what you're saying. So I think, just my opinion, I think just like what Bruiser said, when a man knows, if he's established and he knows what he wants, it's not going to take more than a year to figure out what he wants to do with a woman. We see a woman and say, we're going to put her in a certain category and we just going to move accordingly. And then the year is just really trying to see if she is who she is and, you know, all the other shit, right? So a year usually is how long it is. But a dude who just strings a woman along, now that's an actual issue. But I don't think that comes from trauma. I think it just comes from dudes just not wanting to commit. And some dudes may be afraid of committing, but sometimes dudes just don't, like Precious said earlier, dudes don't know how to communicate properly. And if a dude don't know how to communicate properly, like you said, he don't want to lose you, so he starts doing stupid shit. So sometimes dudes don't know how to communicate properly, and I just think he just don't know how to communicate with women.
No, because that's total BS, Lucky. If you check all the blocks and he got himself together and he ain't trying to wife you up, he's not trying to wife you up.
But Bruce, I just
it ain't no year, it ain't none of that. If you got all your affairs in order, it's either you gonna do it or you gonna just fuck around.
I agree.
Who said I agree? Who said I agree?
Tell you what he wants to do with you.
Bruiser, you just be contradicting yourself because I just asked you that about the financial part. You're like, if he has himself together.
No, I said the reason why men are trying to wife these women early is not because of a manipulation. Is because we know if society get a hold of her, she's gonna be a slut. In most cases, there ain't no turning back.
Or she's just not going to be with you. Why does she have to be a slut?
I have a question for the men.
That's why I had to stop Bruiser, because he started trolling. Like, if
that's not a woman, how am I trolling? How is that
because
trolling?
she may not want to be with you. That don't mean she's going to be a slut.
That's true.
Why you gotta hurry her and get her off the streets?
Yeah, that's true.
I'm saying, listen, I'm talking about a man pulling the trigger on a commitment or a marriage.
Out of
obviously
fear
she
want
want
to.
I understand that part.
Obviously, she want to be with me if it's up to me on whether I'm going to initiate the contract.
Bruiser, you said out of fear.
But why is it up to
become a slut?
I'm saying the reason why these guys who are stabbing say, okay, look, I want to be in love. I want this woman. I want to get in a relationship. I ain't wasting no time. I'm finna wife this girl up.
But it's out of fear that she's going to be a slut.
It's not. I wouldn't say it's out of fear.
You said that.
I have my shit together. So what am I waiting for? It just don't make any sense.
But what is the fear she's going to be a slut for?
It's not a fear. It's just saying how does it make any sense waiting if you, let's say you want to take out a loan, you want to purchase a house, you have everything you need in fair, you got the loan, everything is approved of. Why? Why would you wait?
So, like, this is an
that makes sense.
example.
I'm just saying, why would you wait?
You want to find the right property, the right location, the right.
You found everything.
She's not with you.
You have everything you need.
Can I clean all that up
on?
real quick, please? Can I clean all that up, please? Sex determines a man's value, and sex diminishes a woman's value depending on what's happening with sex. So when men treat women accordingly, if you are a woman who leading with your crown, you probably could get wifey material, be wife. If you're a woman who leads with sex, you are going to get sex. It's crazy that we're sitting here trying to kind of almost seem like everything the lady said tonight was very on point. I'm just going to say that for the most part. This is a disingenuous thing y'all saying right now, because you know the men y'all want to have sex with is typically men of value. You don't want to have sex with men of value. And I'm gonna bring a new body into this. I told y'all before, a man would have sex with the Windex. If this had a vagina, a man would have sex with this. But sex demonstrates a man's value. It diminishes your value if we're getting it for nothing. But it shows our value. If most of the women here had sex with one of the guys on this panel, it shows his value. Your value is determined. Let me finish, Curves. Don't do that. Please don't do that, Curves. Please don't do that. Because I haven't cut Curves. This, see what you just did? Come on, Curves. Come on.
I'm gonna let you have it.
Because who y'all want to have sex with is the man of value. That's why. Y'all determine the valuable man. Who y'all want to have sex with is the man who's valuable. Now, what determines Lord.
I'm gonna let you finish. I'm sorry.
What determines your value is a good woman that coming with a good woman. If you earn a marriage, that determines your value. But you can't shame man because he's treating you accordingly. If you're moving like that, y'all need to look at yourselves. Y'all give access to sex. You give access to a man being in your space. You give access to a man kissing you. You give access to a man hugging you. You give access to everything. Y'all are the gatekeepers. We hold the key. So if you give me opening to you, you showed me my value. Him just having sex with you, he might not ever remember you again. Y'all remember those things. You remember the man you had sex with.
Can I have a question for Ali?
I think we're talking to a point where she's.
Hold on, Sheep. I think Bruiser has a question.
Okay. I just had a question, Ali, but I'm thinking she's talking to a point to where y'all are in a relationship, y'all having sex, like y'all probably should be married, and you haven't pulled the trigger on as far as getting married. I think it is detrimental to be holding her up. If you know for sure that you ain't gonna be marrying this woman, why in the hell is you fucking her? What we're doing is we're creating trauma that she's going to have to use to bond with the next man who might think she's deemable. But then we're going to run around and talk about how many bodies she got.
So you saying the society women who promotes slut walks, who promote stock culture, who promote sexual liberated, you created her trauma if she wants to have sex with you?
If you're sitting there bodying
you
this
created her trauma if you to have sex with her,
wifing her up,
that's where y'all flip flop on these talking points and you hurt yourself every time y'all.
I'm a married man.
You can't keep women accountable. You cannot tell a woman to close her mouth. Let me finish. Y'all don't do like that. Look, she interrupted y'all. Now y'all here y'all go. Y'all ready to double team?
Agenda. We don't.
She gives access to sex. Who don't have an agenda?
Ali, all Bruiser is saying is if you are dating as a man, remember I be like these women be on a 15, 20 dick, right? You are the 15th dick, right? So if you get with her and start sleeping with her, knowing that you don't want to be with her, now she got to move on to the 16th dick. So now you making her worse.
So you made her have sex with you?
No, he's saying hold yourself accountable too.
Yeah.
Are y'all serious? Y'all are telling. So hold on, watch this. We did this last time.
That's the question I was trying to ask.
We did this again.
Like, well, at what point?
Let me curves. Having sex.
No,
let me finish. I'm asking.
Hey.
Y'all asked me a question. Y'all asked me a question. JR was talking.
Hold on, y'all. Let Ali go.
We did this on a panel the other day. Y'all have so much disrespect and lack of value for men. I told y'all this before. If man stood on code, if we didn't have sex with you if you weren't a virgin, if we didn't have sex with you if you had babies, if we didn't have sex with you if you were a baby mama, if we didn't support your OnlyFans and your IG, if we didn't support any of that, y'all would have nowhere to go. Thank God that man will even save you at your worst to have sex with you because you have nothing to do. If we stood on code, y'all would have no sex.
I have a question, Ali.
No, can you answer that? No. Before you move, Queen Sheba, please answer that. If man stood on code,
having sex with him is not saving him.
Stop, Bruiser. I don't do that to y'all. Don't do feminist. Listen, man. I could be as chill as y'all want me to be chill. Don't be disingenuous. You and Miss Lego doing too much. Y'all interrupting everybody.
I didn't just answer it. Though.
I didn't interrupt you, so don't interrupt me.
I just answered the question.
I didn't interrupt you, so don't interrupt me. That's all I'm telling you.
Okay, I'm not interrupting you. I was just trying to answer the question.
No, you're not trying to answer the question. You stand on code with you gonna flip flop like let go. You cannot tell women to hold themselves accountable and then blame it on the men for having sex with women.
Blame men
but again, let me finish. Let me finish. I'm gonna ask the sisters again. If men stood on code and did not, and y'all asking the men to hold out sex and not have sex with women, right? We're gonna say no to sex now. If we didn't deal with y'all, if y'all were virgins and y'all out the gate, where would you have to go? If you gave your sex to someone else, and Anton talks about this all the time, if you already gave it up to one man without marrying him, what's your value after that?
If you
And where would you have to go? Let me, Curves, you're moving too fast. Let me finish, Curves.
I thought you were finished with your question. Go ahead, finish your
No,
question.
you don't. You've been interrupting me 5 times. You're doing just like Let Go and Bruiser. You
I'm
tag teaming with them.
Get to the point, because make a home run, because you ain't
I
saying
did
that.
well.
Like,
So if we only married virgins, and y'all asking men to have dick, if you asking men to have dick discipline, and we only have sex with women we gonna wife, which are virgins, what would happen if y'all? What would happen if you were no longer virgins and men stood on code? That's all I'm asking you.
Pick me. Can I speak now? Or are you finished?
Go ahead, Curves.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so my question is, are we going way back? Because are we all now virgins again? Are we all doing this correctly? Are men courting women before we doing anything? How far are we taking this back? Or are all women slut and we all got bust down?
You didn't answer the question.
What the hell?
You're just moving the goalposts.
Yeah.
If you already listen, if you already had
Ali,
sex,
the reason why the reason why you're losing her is because you mentioned virgin, and let's keep it a buck. I don't care. I want we all flexible.
No,
but he said if you had sex with one
you had sex with one person, y'all telling
Ali, let her answer. Ali, real quick. Just real quick.
15 seconds. I just want 15 seconds.
Bruh.
Seriously. At what point are you gonna hold yourself accountable? You want to talk about all these bust downs that like? At what point are you gonna hold yourself accountable? Women are doing this. Women are doing that. Okay, cool. Women take that shit. All right, bet we've done that. We've done this. We have cool. But at what point are you gonna say, "Oh, niggas will fuck a whatever you just had up Windex"?
A Windex bottle, exactly.
And you too, Mr. Lego, you too. Y'all not even answering my question.
My thing is, you say shit like that.
No, you don't answer questions and you deflecting. That's what this happened. You doing what they doing. Y'all never answered the question directly. If you already had sex, and you're asking me to practice,
it lowers her value. Yes.
No, that's not what I said.
If
If men should only marry virgins and she already had sex, where would she had to go?
This is the goofiest question.
She's not my problem if I don't want her as my wife.
Because you can't answer the question.
I think Ali.
You're being disrespectful. You're being disrespectful because I asked the direct. Did I disrespect you?
Not.
How was it? Did I say your question was goofy?
No, I'm just
You're being
saying,
disrespectful.
No, I'm not. But you're not making the question.
You're asking.
You're not making the question fair on
I
both
am.
sides.
Final point.
Am I tripping?
Yes.
No, you're not
Okay,
tripping.
yeah.
You're not tripping.
Am I tripping, or is
You're
he
not.
not making the question fair on both
So
sides?
you answered. Hold on, Curves. Captain Save. Hold on. Captain Save everybody. Hold on real quick. So, Mr. Lego, if men operated the way they supposedly operated, have dick discipline, and only deal with virgins, what would happen if women with virgins?
Hold
Where
on.
would
I
they
think
have
you
to
make
go?
a good point, Ali. Can you explain?
So you let him
Hold on. Ali, you make a good
I
point.
got it.
I want Ali to say one more thing. Can you say what dick discipline is? And then
Only having sex with virgins.
Okay.
Marry the first woman you marry, like Anton, you marry that woman who's a virgin. That's only women that get married is virgins.
Exactly.
Does that mean he's a virgin?
Virgins is correct. Now can we move on? Yeah, virgins. Yes.
No,
Virgins.
that doesn't mean that you're a virgin. You have to be a virgin.
I mean, does that mean the man?
See what
We'll
y'all
have
no,
sex
see,
with virgins.
y'all
only have sex with virgins.
I'm trying to talk to you. You see what's happening, right? I'm trying to talk to you. He doing what he do to you. I'm trying to talk to you.
I'm just trying to hear.
Ali, I'm answering your question. You asked me a direct question. Only have sex with virgins.
Yo, let
Now,
go.
can we move
Why
on?
when someone asks a question, they talking to two people?
You asked me a question.
No,
And
everybody.
I only
Every
have
time
sex with
someone tries to answer, they talking to two people at the same time.
virgins. Can I answer the question?
You everybody conscious.
I'm trying to stay on code.
Okay, I know you are. So I'm gonna ask you
And I
again.
will only have sex with virgins.
I'm gonna ask you again. If she wasn't a virgin, right? We only marrying virgins. Where would she have to go? What happens?
Okay, cut. This isn't working.
She's gone. I'm staying on code. She's out of here. She's not a virgin.
Yo, you just said all y'all were done. You know what I'm talking about? And y'all know that too.
But Ali, I still want you to.
Sheba, you see what it?
Say yes to virgin.
Sheba. I just did Sheba.
Bro, I'm team virgin, bro.
You cannot
Virgin
shame men.
mobile.
I couldn't
Y'all,
hear.
all of us want the path of least resistance. Y'all want a husband as quick as possible.
No, that's
Hold
You
on.
didn't want me to answer.
Let me. Y'all want and men want
Ali
sex
just
quick
be
as
on this.
Oh Lord, you already messed up. You told them all of them
agenda.
need. You just said all of them need to go to the streets. That's what you just
Yes,
said.
they need to be virgin. Ladies, y'all
First,
need to
no,
be
talk to
virgin.
him. First, he said that. Don't do that because I exposed
But
it.
Ali, just for a little bit of clarification. Ali, come back. Ali, I just got one more question for Ali.
Tell your
ahead,
conflict
Mama,
to stop
please.
first, and I'll answer your question.
One more question for Ali. So when you say dick discipline,
Lord have
does that
mercy.
mean that your dick is clean and you ain't been nowhere?
Queen Sheba, do you
Oh,
want
you
me
the
to
I
answer?
virgin,
just want to
Ali.
know.
See?
Sheba,
Nah, because they're not holding
Ali,
themselves
that's a fair
accountable.
question. That's
Ali,
all I
are
just
you a
want to
virgin?
know.
Queen Sheba, do women
'Cause
like
I'm a virgin.
clean? Do women like clean D's or they like dirty D's?
No, what I'm saying
Hold
is,
on. No. Since you're gonna ask
Somebody-
that,
somebody-
does
oh,
that
we're gonna get.
mean
Hey, we
How
about to
did
get
you
to
get it
something.
dirty?
You know how? Because
what is
y'all always
dirty
say,
D?
watch this. Y'all say that y'all not gonna deal with a lot of guys who community.
What I mean
deep.
by clean is, or is the
Yeah,
man a
y'all
virgin? Is a
see what y'all do?
virgin?
Y'all
That's
see
what I'm
that?
asking.
Can we
Does that
move
mean a
on?
man is a virgin when you say his
Let me know
dick
when y'all ready,
discipline?
man. Because everybody interrupting me.
Ali, you're
All right,
not
so
Because only
listening.
let's
women
move
are
on
held
then.
accountable, apparently.
Look, Lucky, you see it. Look, I can't even answer the question.
He
I'm
can be
just
as
trying to
dirty
ask
dick as he want
Ali.
to
I can't
be.
get a straight.
I
I'm
can't
not
talk to you in
disagreeing with
church.
you. That's what you're not saying.
Gotta move on.
I
Yeah,
just
y'all,
want to
can you
get
help me, please?
clarification.
Right,
Hey,
y'all need to
where
stay
y'all
on
at? Come on,
code.
y'all. Y'all ain't gonna help me answer a question. I can't even
Sheba,
answer.
you're not on code.
Okay.
Stay on code,
Like,
Sheba.
I'm
What's
gonna go to
code?
Ali. Like Sheba, go ahead, ask him your question. Ali, ask the question
Without interruptions,
Only them
please.
two, and we have to go ahead and move on.
Okay,
Queen
so
Sheba.
go
Queen
ahead.
Sheba, let me finish. Women
Mhm.
say they don't want community dick. Okay, right? Majority of men that don't get sex they're not community dick. The majority of men that's getting sex they are the community dick. And y'all are sleeping with them. Y'all say y'all don't want to sleep
Some
with
women.
men. No, oh Lord, let me finish. And then y'all talk about y'all can get STDs from all these men. That's community D, right? Is it more likely for you to get an STD from men who can't get sex or the men who's having sex with everybody?
Let me know when you're ready for me to answer, because I don't want to fly with you.
Because the second you answer,
Tell me when you're ready for me to
Hold
answer.
on.
Before you answer, think wise. The people who getting the most sex are the ones who y'all value. Y'all don't want the guys who can't get sex. So go ahead, you can finish.
All right. I just want to clarify one thing before I answer, because I want to make sure I'm following you correctly.
Okay.
When you said, because you said if
Stay on
men
code.
establish dick discipline and if they adhere to the dick discipline policy and procedures, the women that are not virgins should be thrown out. I'm not saying I agree. Hold on, Ali. I'm not saying I agree or disagree. All I'm asking you to do is clarify for me and the audience. When you say dick discipline, does that mean the man is a virgin?
Do you want a virgin? No, and no, I'm gonna say no quickly. No, that don't mean that, because you know
I'm
why?
a virgin.
Because you know why? Do you know why? Because y'all typically want sex from a man who's established, right? If you're having sex with a man for free, that's your fault.
Oh my God, man.
How's it? Curse, are you serious? Curse, should you have sex with me if I'm broke? Hold on. Should you have sex? Smiling, good, right? Should you have sex with me if I'm broke? It's over, right? It's over now, right?
I'm not
and if you give it to me for free, is it that's my fault or is that your fault?
I'm not answering the question.
I know you're not. I know you're not.
Because like
I know y'all not.
Your questions are wild.
I love you, Curves. No, they're not. They truthful questions.
like you
Curves,
too.
they're truthful questions. How is that a
Ali,
wild?
you do this every panel. It's
But
always.
like, and I don't
Let me
know
ask
why
you a
you get all
question.
hyped up.
You do this
Look
every
at him.
time,
Look
bro.
at him. He can't even control himself.
Listen, Ali,
You're
I
not
like
staying on code.
I like you so much. I followed you on Instagram. You ain't following me back. They ain't got nothing to do with it.
I followed you again,
So long.
Ali. I like you so much.
All the women on the panel should your daughters and women when they get older should they have sex with a broke guy, please?
No, let's talk about the men.
It's not about
Ali.
being
Right. Why?
No, y'all know what I mean. Y'all know what I
would
mean.
you
I mean
expect your daughter to
broke
lay down
as
with
a man,
someone?
not
Ali,
just
let the
financially.
lady say
We're
something,
not
bro.
talking about broke men right now.
Why are you talking about broke niggas?
One at
We're
a
not
time.
talking
Yeah.
about broke men.
Yeah.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on,
Conversation.
y'all. They can't hear anybody if everybody is talking at the same time.
Right, we ain't staying on
Ali's
code.
cussing all the women out. He's just being so aggressive tonight.
Well, how about we do this? How about
You
we do
ladies
this?
ain't on
Hold
code.
on. How about we do this? How about we give the option to Lady Di or Precious to have the final word, because we got to get through another subject, y'all.
Because they
Go
tell the
ahead,
truth.
Lady Di.
Well, I'm about to say, go
The
ahead.
two
Fred.
virgins on the panel. Go ahead, y'all.
The truth tellers on the panel.
I was gonna ask you, why are you bringing up money? Because we was talking about. Wait, hold on. We were talking about sex. Sheba asked you,
Thank you.
And a virgin, and you brought in money to Curves. So let's stick to just a dude that is, forget the dollars right now, because
Right.
the topic. if you are a virgin and this woman is a virgin, let's stick to that.
Okay.
Is this man going to be? I don't want to hear you say women want a dude that's
If
experienced.
they don't want a virgin, then you don't want to experience that. But go ahead. Let me just answer directly. Can we just do that? Every way you're gonna lose. Go ahead, Sheba. Go ahead, Sheba. Ask me the question.
No, Precious gotta go next.
Not me.
Hold
Ali is saying.
Hold on, y'all. We're gonna let Ali answer. Before we do, I want to let Precious speak also.
Right, we'll talk to the two virgins on the panel.
You know, would you advise your daughter to be with someone who can provide?
Yes, and just a man. Like you don't have to be the richest, but a man who's
you're not
spiritually, mentally, financially broke. Should a woman give a person like that one of the most powerful bodies for nothing?
No.
Is it our fault?
No, it would be her fault.
Does this around 11:30 at night.
No, I'm gonna destroy your trauma later on too. Just remember that. So just hold on to your trauma. I'm gonna hold on because you know what's funny? The women been holding Sheba killed trauma already, and so is Lucky. The accountability, they already killed it. So it's gonna be hard for you to come back with this trauma thing. But go ahead because you holding on to it for a reason. But go ahead, Curve.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. We gotta move on. We got to get to the super chat. We got to get to the super chats and we got to move on. JR, you want me to bust these down?
I like seeing him get
go ahead.
Huh?
All right, hold on, y'all.
I like seeing you get worked up.
Let me bust down these super
You do
chats.
this 11:30 at night every time.
Shout out to Kerry Spencer with the 2 ball says you shouldn't let anyone get you out of character. Marcus Evans, my guy with the 5 ball, says shout out to the panel. Self-control is key for everyone. Heavy Tits, my girl, what up though? Chike Auto LLC is also a member. Said I hate it when single women call out married men wives. Bruiser, shout out to your wife B Taylor. Where is your husband? I guess that's what he meant to say. If you don't have one, don't say nothing about another man's wife, please. Shout out to you. Trigger Mike, also a member, and he also got a show Monday through Friday, the Trigger Mike show. Make sure y'all check that out. Says Lucky. If you don't believe in getting out of character, then you're just looking for a pass to disrespect somebody. You ain't slick. Val Lawrence is a member. Shout out to Val Lawrence. We appreciate you. Cheeky with the 5 ball says, see what getting smart gets you. Hashtag class. And I think that's for you, Lucky. He put the little leprechaun thing. Shout out to Marlon Nash. He's also a member with the 5 ball supporting the platform. Marcus Evans says, so now we getting personal. Okay. What a shame.
Stop it, Mark.
We appreciate you, Dark Lake, for becoming a member. Sherwin Thomas is also a member, says, that's what he said. Queen Sheba, you don't listen. The Lucid Experience is a member also that said being in and out of character sounds deceiving and manipulative. Just be who you are and move with discernment / wisdom. Protect yourself. Marcus Evans with the 5 ball says, talk to him, Lady Di. Also got G. He's a new member. We appreciate you. Clyde Adara with the 5 ball. And shout out to all of my people that's overseas. Says good character is not formed in a week or a month. It is created little by little. Protracted and patient effort is needed to develop good character. We appreciate you. Cheeky hit us with another one with the 10 ball. Says, stop making excuses, women. They do all that and are aware of the effects of what they say. If you think they're not calculated, you the fool. Men, she aware, not dumb. That's a fact. All of them. Shout out to Cheeky. Striking it rich with the 2 ball says, take that red hat off. That's making you violent. Cheeky with the 5 ball says, F her emotions. If she's willing to be disrespectful, she needs to know her head can be used as a battering ram.
Oh, wow.
Out the
That's
damn door.
time.
Hashtag figure it out. Caesar's Palace, a member says, women, this is all cap. Women manage emotions for who they want to do it for. I don't see women acting crazy at work like they do with their boyfriend. Cheeky said, these same homo sapiens talking about they don't treat me like a child, though. We always making excuses for the lack of communication skills. We appreciate you, Cheeky. Thanks for holding us down, big dog. Tech Nobility with the 10 ball says women know what kind of men they can pull that bull on. The same way she's in check at her job is how she needs to carry it at home if she values her position there. Jazz Winsman is also a member with the 5 ball holding us down. If women put her hands on a man, then that man should be allowed to respond the same way. Like Anton said before, hit her in her breasts. To go with the 5 ball says Mr. Let Go wore red because some of y'all women are must be on y'all cycle, not you, Sheba. And men, pause. Let the elder.
Oh, I'm not there, bitch. I still get a period. So go. That's your mama, not me.
Caesar's Palace is also a member with the fireball. Says stop giving women excuses to lose an argument. Stop trying to make men mind readers. Tell me what you need. Communicate with your man. It's simple. Holman Harvey says, thanks, panel. Awesome conversation. Love it with the 2-ball. We appreciate you. Be love. Shout out to you for becoming a member. We appreciate you. Caesar's Palace. A member says, Bruiser is 100% correct. Get them earlier. They will be for the streets. In parentheses, in brackets. So lucky. This is why you date to marry, not date to date. Problem solved. To go with the 5-ball says, every man in his purpose. Your purpose comes from the creator. It's weird when Christians talk about purpose and never mention God. Cheeky Banner with the 10-ball says that 6 months to 1 year thing is dumb. I'm going to make a lifetime decision based off only 6 months to a year. Man, stop capping. Most of these women are virgins either. So the likelihood of a failed marriage is high. Kitty, 1. Ali. French, is it French chick? 757 is also a member. We appreciate you, baby girl. Cheeky says the light-skinned bald boys is down. Also, Ali, how they lose their virginity and men still virgins in your questions. Yeah, Cheeky, you the sponsor of the show, big dog. Hack says Ali on an island must stand strong. Tech Nobility with the 5-ball says I rock with Ali, but the what if-isms don't help move the conversations. Let's deal with 2023, my guy. Kelly Combos is in the building. What up?
No.
Paul says Ali, what if men stay on code? Hoes would be extinct. Black Lexicon with the 5-ball. Also a member says one big reason not to have sex before marriage with a soulmate is finding out that they related to you. Get a DNA test first. Cheeky with the 5-ball says Ali, I understand it now. That's the problem I'm having now. These hoes hoeing and make it hard to advocate for dick discipline. Hashtag
my brother.
Val Lawrence, also a member, says Ali, I'm a virgin, baby. Those 3 kids aren't mine. They're not mine. Midway 83 says, once I leave refined and polished, you're going to have you 2 Antons. Oh, Jesus. Trigger Mike with the 2-ball. Also a member says, Ali be battle rap or rap battling the whole panel. Agent August with the 5-ball says, let go. Pretty much said he don't have sex with women unless you want to marry because you add into her count and she's messed up for the rest. We appreciate you. J Tay with the 10-ball says, JR and Anton, please give James St. Patrick Ali a 4-year contract with a player option on a 5th year. We need him every Thursday. Also, hope y'all give him his own show on the network. Shout out to Ali. Holman Harvey says Ali question. Like his camera is foggy. Cheeky Banners with the 2-ball. Gaslighting Ali is crazy. Marcus Evans, Ali. I know what you're saying. Some of the people on here is on the BS. Marcus Evans came back to back, and then he hit us with another one.
He's coming back to back.
I hear what you're saying. Some people on here is on some bullish. Nobody wants a virgin. What?
What?
Caesar's Palace says,
The
Ali
women.
now. I see they always, I guess I don't know what the day is, to make you look crazy because they don't want to answer the question.
Ali got a fan club.
No one will fall for the tricks. Class Clown with the 10-ball. Shout out to you. Ali tries to dive deep on every damn topic when it's unnecessary. He has red pill rage. All he want to do is blame everything and solely hold men accountable. Ali too smart for this, bro. Kelly Combo says Ali is super red pill, but he looks like he hands out a lot of morning after pills. What? Parker, a member says, chat viewers, please support. We need 500 more likes. Cheeky Banner says, women don't desire male virginity. Look it up. The problem is there isn't a balance with men who have sex. Either you're a male, slut, or incel.
Exactly.
In most cases, most don't prefer, later proving Ali's point. Don't gaslight Ali. Kelly Combo says, shout out to Lapeef JR. My baby works so hard. You have no idea how much he does to give you all a great show. Hit the like button and support. Shane also with the 10-ball and the member says, shout out to the panel. Ali cooking, bro. Mr. Let Go need to be muted. Anton, salute. Big Saint 2K says, if women give access to sex, how is it the men's fault? I know we have answered this when Cass was alive, laughing my ass off. Shout out to everybody that held us down. Everybody supporting the platform. Let me help y'all understand something. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for subscribing to the channel and hitting the like for the YouTube algorithm. We appreciate every single super chat, and that's why we take our time throughout the show to make sure that we read them. We're going to continue to read these super chats throughout the show. Thank y'all for supporting. Thank y'all for holding us down. We appreciate y'all. Let's get it.
All right. Let's go ahead and move on. It's time to get to the meat of the conversation. And we know the ladies, right? The meat. I don't see no face expressions, right? Do we need to fill out a hurt feelings report or something? Everybody
Where's your arrow?
Yeah, with the
Waiting for that.
No, we are virgins. We don't even know what meat feels like, right? I mean, what is meat? What is
I know what it feel like. You know what it feel like.
All right, so our next topic is trauma hurts women, trauma builds men. Let's go ahead and play this clip.
Hurts women. Trauma builds men. Trauma makes women more masculine. Trauma makes men, if he overcomes that trauma, think about it. If any of you ladies,
toxic.
no, listen. If any of you ladies go through trauma,
PTSD be real.
listen. Speak this facts right here. No fugazi. If any of you ladies go through trauma, in order for you to overcome it, it's gonna make you a little bit more masculine. It's there. You have to be a little bit more worrisome to figure this out. More direct now, a bit more assertive, maybe a little bit more dominant, so you don't go through those traumas that you went through before, which is innately making you more masculine. Get what I'm saying? So men, when we go through stuff, the masculinity, it suits us nice. So when we overcome traumas, it builds that man, it builds the character. The more things that a man experienced and he overcame, the more sexier and more attractive he is. It's facts.
Yeah.
I think I see where you're going, because I do believe that that is my problem in relationships. I honestly believe that I've been through so much. I believe that I'm more masculine.
All right, trauma hurts women, trauma builds men. I'm gonna go ahead and start with Lucky first.
Why? Because I'm on Defiant tonight.
No, I didn't cut it just because everybody else was speaking. So, all right.
Just listening to it, I can kind of see why he said that, because men, like I said before, women are pretty much taught to be delusional, or we always have someone who's going to help us usually. So with men, a lot of the times to get it on your own, it builds a certain type of character, which you overcome, which he's saying your trauma, so the things you've been through. But I would disagree with him if he said it's not attractive with women, because a lot of the times, from my experience, if you talk to men or things like that, the reason why they can connect with you on a deeper level is based on where you've been and the wisdom you've learned from it. So if they saying that's unattractive, I don't know. My question would be, is he saying that men don't like women who have been through things and became wise? Because the only way you can get wisdom usually is by going through something. So I don't know. I just disagree with that just because it didn't sound right. But overall, I would say I agree with him as far as it builds men up, because most women just look for a rescuer. So in that sense, they don't really have to work hard. And the ones that do work hard, they do develop certain careers that make them more dominant. A lot of women go to the military, a lot of things to try to get them out of traumatic situations. With men, as they build up, their character gets better, as the woman's character she doesn't know how to cut it off in relationships where she can disassociate from her job in that particular space she's been able to be, and a feminine woman in relationships, I would say.
All right. Let me go ahead and go to Bruiser. What are your thoughts, sir?
My thoughts is he stated if he overcome it, speaking to a man, when he overcome it. I don't know what the rate or the percentage of men that actually overcome their trauma. Those who do, good for you, but I mean, there are some things you just can't unsee, and sadly, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. You know, I wouldn't say that it makes you more masculine, and I look at masculine as a positive thing. On the man's side, I mean, I have masculinity, but after being in the military, some of the things I've seen, I don't think you're supposed to be able to ingest that and become stronger. Some of that stuff just sit with me, and it doesn't make me stronger or weaker. It kind of just make me project whenever I'm having a conversation about some of those things I had to experience. So it makes me project my feelings towards what I act, or share my feelings on how I was able to navigate it through, or fail, or have some type of disgust or even fear for it. Like sometimes when I think about some of the engagements I had in the military, I get scared still. I don't look at that as a form of masculinity. I look at that as just me being normal. I don't think any normal person is supposed to experience that. I mean, we have to go out here and protect our country and put our life on the line, but it's just some things I don't think you're ever going to be able to endure. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't think our minds are built from that. And it ain't even have nothing to do, for the most part, it ain't had nothing to do with childhood at all. That was just being an adult and out there being a soldier. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a case by case scenario, and it depends on the experience. I can't really speak to how it makes a woman adapt or become more masculine. A woman would have to speak on that because I don't know. But I can tell you as a man, some of the shit I've seen and been through, it didn't make me more dominant or more masculine or stronger. It actually made me weaker because it scared the shit out of me. And when you hear bullets flying, I don't give a damn who you are. You got to go get therapy, man. You got to go see somebody, or you're going to be on meds for the rest of your life. This guy's out there. When I was in the DMV, just walking the streets, man, they had everything they had in life, but their mind was just fucked up, man. I would really say it would do the opposite, depending on what the experience is. So that's my take on it.
I'm glad you spoke on that, Bruiser, and thank you for being honest that way, because I was going to ask the question. Well, for one, everyone experiences trauma. I think that some people, we all get. If you've ever been on an airplane, we're all going to a location. Some people have their luggage underneath the plane, and some people they have a carry-on and they bring it on the plane. They put it on the overhead, but we all got luggage that we're bringing to this location. My question was going to be, how do men, other than your success, other than your cars, your job, and everything like that, how do you know that you have overcome trauma?
I just have an easy mind, and I would say my wife actually helped me with a lot of it, man. Like just being able to be there for me. I can't trust in like my friends and stuff like that and certain stuff, man. I always try to be strong around my friends and any other male presence. But I would confide in my wife whenever I got to points like that where I had that kind of fear or that kind of scaredness that kind of made my balls tingle. You know what I'm saying? Because when I'm around males, you know what I'm saying? Like in the case of my platoon started, and we on a fucking a Black Hawk, and they saying, "Hey, look, some of y'all is not gonna make it home. Y'all got y'all letters." You know what I'm saying? Whenever you had to write that shit, bro, it's like, and like you've been back on a C-130 next to freaking coffins. And these guys is in your platoon. Some of them you went to basic training with. So it's really nothing, I wouldn't say make me stronger. It would just make me appreciate life. You know what I'm saying? It'd make me appreciate the decisions that I'm making. And that motivated me even more to like look at marriage a different way and say, hey, look, when I deal with a woman this time, I want somebody that's going to be able to comfort me when I'm in this situation, because I can't do it by myself.
Yeah.
Right.
So
shout out to you, Bruiser, and you, Sheba, also, because you talked about, what you went through. These are the conversations that I love, just personally. So shout out to both of y'all. That was dope. My answer to you, Precious, is you'll easily be able to tell what type of trauma that you're still dealing with when you're in situations that are like not normal or whatever, or not an everyday situation, and how you operate in it. When you get extremely stressed out or you get extremely triggered, and how you respond, kind of like how we talked about, do you go out of character? So depending on how far you go out of character, or if you don't go out of character, I would say that's kind of like how you could tell if you still have trauma, things like that. So in certain situations with me, I realize I still have some trauma. You feel me? So that is the way that you could get a good understanding when you're under some type of duress, and then how you operate. That's my answer.
Yeah. I don't understand. Like, that's exactly what we built for. Like, we are built since the beginning of time. We want to put a sensitive label on it, but since the beginning of time, that's been what mankind goes through. Every time a woman has a kid, her body goes through some form of a trauma. That's literally what her body is built for. Now, we can't sit here and say, well, we got to figure. No, that's the thing that we adapt to. That's the thing that we live with. That's the thing that makes us human. I don't think that that's something that we should run from or try to get over. That's the thing that we embrace, because even fear itself is the thing that helps to keep you alive. That's the thing that helps you to have more situational awareness. I mean, I wasn't in the military, but God damn it, I was in the hood hearing bullets whiz past my head when I got carjacked and they was trying to kill me. I didn't see dead bodies in real life. You know what I'm saying? My point is that I think that, and the things that we go through and how it is that we operate, that doesn't change from person to person. And I don't believe, I think that today in 2023, we have it easier than any other time in history, but yet we complain more than any other people that has ever come before us. That is the wildest thing that has ever happened to me. And now I'm not going to discount what anybody else goes through. I'm not speaking to anybody else's specific situation, but Jesus Christ, you had to eat what you kill. And we are in the most weakest, sensitive, easily supported. If we don't make it, the government going to have our back. Everybody deserves health care, even though everybody didn't necessarily put in for it. You can go into any country and do whatever the fuck you want to do whenever you want to do it. Yet we sitting here talking about what it is that we have to get over. And that's such bullshit to me. I just think that we are the most coddled, the weakest, the easily manipulated, easily tied to the government, don't really stand for nothing, having this generation of people that I've ever seen in my entire life. And I hate it. I hate every aspect of it. I hate the fact I wish we could separate ourselves by allowing for people to actually be able to prove that they're worth their salt. And that's why everybody feel like they're entitled to everything. When you see women talk, they say, I deserve a good man. When you see men talk, all they do is fucking complain about what it is that their circumstance is, and they don't actually stand for anything. And I think it's weak. I think it's so weak. And that's why you see guys, or millionaires specifically, more than 80% of millionaires are new millionaires, because it's not the ones that's sitting there entitled and feeling like they deserve something, but it's the people that prove it and worth they salt. Everybody is not meant to make it. Everybody is not meant to go along. Everybody does not deserve everything. And I think that the guy that was talking on that particular panel was absolutely right. I think that men are supposed to suffer, but because it's the thing, the reason why you have so many weak failed households and marriages, because there was no barrier to entry in order for you to prove yourself to be worthy of a husband. There was no barrier to entry to prove that you are worthy of being a father. And it's so easy for anybody to pull out their dick and have sex, but nobody have to substantiate whether or not they can take care of a household. And that's because they didn't have to go through nothing. Everybody can just say, I want it, I can have it, I'm gonna do it. It's mine to have. And if I don't get it, then it's somebody else's fault as a result of my situation. Nobody takes ownership and responsibility as a result of it. And I think that we are weaker than we ever been. And unfortunately, we continue to become so technologically advanced and we becoming more coddled. Now we've gotten to the point where we have actually advocating for socialism. We think we deserve to get paid just because we born. That's wild to me. And so I don't believe in it. I absolutely agree with the guy that said that trauma, or whatever you want to fucking call it, suffering, makes you stronger, or it separates the weak from the haves from the have-nots. And I think that as a result, it does make men stronger. And for women, I think that their bodies was built for it too. And so that's where I stand at.
Go ahead, Lady Di.
Can I ask a question? I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Lucky. What's your question? Then we go.
I was just going to ask him, because there were two parts of the video for everybody. Do you believe that women, since we can't control the trauma that people have been through, like one generation been through more trauma, so do you believe that what he said in the video, women who have been through things are not attractive, or they're not wanted, whatever he said?
I think that the context matters. I think when he's talking about like, let's just say, for example, if you want to use an extreme example of a chick that's been abused when she was younger, right? She carried that with her, and then she looks for that dependency, and then she may exhibit that and having sex with a lot of different guys as she got older. So therefore, she becomes less attractive, or maybe she's not even wife material by the time she becomes of age, right? In that instance. The other side of it is, I think that throughout history, women have played a role, way heavier role than they do today, as far as having to go through some of the shit that than these women go through. If your village got fucking slaughtered, the women was getting fucked and they was becoming concubines, and there was the trophies, and the men did whatever they wanted with them. in history throughout war, women often was a thing that incentivized men to continue to fight, and because they knew that, you know, when they found a woman, they was gonna fuck her and they was gonna all, you know, do the R word to her. And so women have experienced trauma throughout all of their lives. And like I said, even in birth, right? We come from an environment where historically medicine is so advanced today to where women don't even nearly go through what it is that they go through, or what they went through back in the day, from birthing a child. Right. And so I just think we built for it. I think that that's what our bodies was made for. I think that we're adapting to easier times, which is why we complain as much as we are. And it's unfortunate.
I don't think no one's arguing on whether we're not built for it or not. I mean, my argument wasn't about discrediting him. I'm just saying.
I wasn't arguing about you. I think it was Lady Di or Precious says, when do we get over it? That's what I was answering.
Okay.
And I don't
No,
think
I said, how do you know that?
How do you know that you got over it?
You're supposed to get over it.
I'm gonna answer that later.
You said you don't think you're supposed to get over
I think
trauma?
it is just a part of life.
You will.
Even death is a part of life, and that is a form of trauma. Everybody lives and everybody dies, and everybody has to mourn. Like, you're going to continuously have people die in your life.
What do y'all mean by get over?
You're not going to get over. That is something that sticks with you for the rest of your life.
What is considered
For your
getting over?
specific
Well, no, they have
trauma?
things like grief counseling and things like
You get
that.
over
Yeah,
it.
Yes, it sticks with you for the rest of your life, but there has to be a way that you manage this trauma. Yes, we're built for it. Yes, we're going to go through it. But my question was, how do you know that you have gotten through it? What processes, other than building yourself up with your findings,
Your reactions. So let's just say,
you know, your cars and things like that. What trauma process do you go through to know that you're getting through it?
Can I respond?
Shiva?
Oh, go ahead.
Me?
But
Okay.
Precious, don't you
Okay.
think?
Hold on, she was about to
Sorry,
say
go
something.
ahead.
So it's
Yeah,
when
I'm
you,
sorry.
so
Go
when
ahead.
it's your reaction to it, and only you know your reactions to it, whether it's fight, flight, your reactions, and little by little. So first of all, you have a natural reaction to trauma. So you're not going to get over it just because you want to. What starts to happen is you have an awareness. God damn, I want to fight. I'm gonna knock you out. And then that's the awareness come before the healing, right? Because normally the reaction to the trauma is automatic. I'm gonna whoop your ass because somebody whooped my ass when I was little. I'm gonna do this to you because this was done to me. And then when you start that healing process by way of however you get it, I don't just want to say therapy, because there's multiple ways of getting healing. And then you establish a level of awareness, self-awareness, where you start to connect with yourself. Most of us don't even have a connection with ourselves. And we wonder why we don't connect in marriage and why we don't connect in sex. Have you ever had sex with somebody that you've been with for 4 or 5 years and you say, is something missing? That thing missing is you. You're not even connected to yourself. Like I can go so fucking deep.
Well, you're a
this.
woman, Queen Sheba, and no disrespect.
No,
I appreciate
niggas
your
too.
answer, but I was
Niggas
asking the
too.
men, like, how do they have?
We're talking about men, though.
I want the men to actually say from their mouth.
Okay, I'll back off.
So, but I mean, think about it though. Well, let me just say this last thing. It's going to take me 30 seconds. Even in fitness, in the gym, your body has to suffer in order to grow. Your muscles is literally tearing every single fiber every day and then rebuilding itself in order to grow. Even if you want to continue to evolve, a lot of times they say do HIIT, or they say, you know, you need to change out your workout and you need to do more, or you need to increase or whatever. In order to grow, in order to continue to have greater endurance, in order to be able to breathe underwater longer, you have to literally suffer through that process in order to continue to be a better version of yourself, or more equipped to be able to deal with whatever it is that you got to deal with. And so I don't know why people run from it. I mean, as a matter of fact, the book that I just reread, David Goggins' You Can't Hurt Me, is literally an example of the thing that he run towards instead of running from, which is one of the reasons why he's so successful and why he's been able to accomplish the majority of what he's accomplished. If you haven't read David Goggins' You Can't Hurt Me, it changes your perspective and your mentality towards what suffering is supposed to be like and what the benefits of it is.
And that's what I was trying to explain to you, Precious. I understand your need to hear from a man. Trauma is trauma. And however you get the message is a message, right? We all have different ways. But the first thing, like Anton said, you know, the book and what the man is saying, you still got to run to it. which is yourself. Healing starts with yourself, but I don't want to get too deep. I'll let the next man go.
So let me, because I want to touch on what Lucky asked, and then I want to touch on what Curve said. One, there's another book that's dope that can actually help you out, Bruiser, called The Body Keeps Score. And I talk about trauma a lot, but trauma is like in the body. It's not just in the brain, right? So it's a certain part of your brain called the amygdala that holds on to all of your traumatic memories. And every time you deal with something in the past, you actually look at the future or the present, and it associates with what happened to you back then. So if something happened to you back then and somebody says something and it sounds like the same thing may potentially happen, you're going to regress or you're going to have a traumatic reaction. That means you still have trauma. So one of the ways that I actually let go of some of my trauma, you don't really let go, you don't really get over it, but I changed the perception of my trauma, is all the shit that I went through. Just like you said, Anton, I've been shot at. I've been shot at people. I sold crack in order to buy school clothes. I watched my mom get her ass whooped, all this other shit, right? But the trauma that I've been through is the reason why I'm Mr. Let Go now, because I go so hard on the single motherhood stuff, mainly because of what I was able to see when I was a kid. And I don't want these other children to go through what I went through, being in the hood, single mother, no dad. I got to get all of my information from dudes outside that don't even mean good. So I had to figure out on how to delineate the dumb shit they was teaching me and pull the good shit they was teaching me out of it. And that takes a lot. So we men deal with trauma totally differently than women, because women are usually like prey. So me getting shot at, it was traumatizing, but I was shooting back. Usually when a woman deals with trauma, she's not able to fight back. She's not able to do anything back. So a lot of things we men go through as far as trauma, we have a fight. We are in the fight. Women aren't. When they get emmed, when they get R'd, when they get this, when they get that, they're usually prey. And they just got to live with it, deal with it. And to the certain degree, they can't fight back, or they feel like, since it's back in the amygdala, they don't think they're going to be able to fight back again. Even though we, like me and you, Anton, we get into a fight and you know, trigger me or whatever, you're going to be able to fight back. But a woman never feels like she's able to fight back. And that feeling of helplessness is the thing that affects her when it comes to trauma that's different than us.
But here's the question that I have. What makes y'all think that everybody is supposed to make it?
I'm just letting you know the
They
difference.
don't. They don't.
I mean, I don't.
No, because
He's right.
What makes y'all think that, and this is both for guys and girls, what makes y'all think that it's not, that everybody is supposed to be taken care of, that it's not supposed to be survival of the fittest, from on every level, all the way from the bottom of our ocean to the top of our sky? Everything, something got to get ate.
Well, because
guys,
everybody,
we're the only thing on the face of this earth that say everybody is supposed to make it.
They are. You're supposed to be healed or figure out how to cope with your trauma. Yes, you are, because
everybody's not supposed to make it.
But if you're a person that, let's talk about everyday people. We see people and how their lives unravel because they're not able to overcome their trauma, which I thought was the whole point. You can't just be operating out here. Yeah, you can be buried in work, but where else is your trauma playing out in your life? Are you abusive? Or do you know how to, do you kind of withdraw from confrontation? Are you this? Are you that? There's a lot of things where your trauma could show up in your life. Just because you're successful, that's one thing. But your trauma could show up a different way that can impact your life. So yeah, and I'm very transparent up here because I don't care about the shots. Me being a lesbian was a form of trauma. I didn't like the way men were and how I've seen them in my life. They were unattractive to me. The average man where I'm from was a gangbanger, a shooter, a drug, where I'm from. So you see it play out in my mannerisms and things like that, which can be easily judged not feminine. But at the end of the day, that shows up in my life as far as what trauma is. So it plays out differently. Everybody doesn't, I can be a millionaire, but if I don't get that together, I may easily be able to withdraw from men because there are certain things in my life I've seen that were unattractive that they do. You see what I'm saying? That doesn't mean I could be a millionaire all day and lonely as hell.
Yeah.
You know, there are some things that cause trauma you are mentally better off not experiencing. I mean, in which I would say maybe a reason why you see more men trying to protect their seeds and stand against fatherless households, because they probably don't want these young boys or young kids to go through the same shit. It's a detriment.
Yeah.
I think it's a diminishing return.
That's all facts, bro.
I mean, that's a natural thing. Like every man is always instinctively, naturally, you are supposed to protect whatever is yours, whether it's your household, whether it's your kid, whether it's your chick. Like anything that's yours, you protect. That's a natural instinct.
Right.
Even mothers are protective over their children.
Most mothers are
You say
protective over any
it's
children.
natural. You say it's a natural instinct, but looking at the community and looking at society today, doesn't it seem like it's kind of not like guys aren't naturally doing that?
It's a reflection of the fact that nobody has had to overcome a barrier to entry because they haven't had to go through anything and suffer. And so as a result, they don't have a sense of purpose. It's almost like if you give somebody something, they don't value it as much as if they had to earn it. Right.
So break that down, Anton, in layman's terms for people that are listening.
No, I get what he's saying. He said so.
I get it too, but maybe people that are
women
listening
is the
don't.
barrier of entry, and if it's free, it's hard for us to naturally protect.
Not entirely. Everything is a barrier to entry. If you give somebody $1 million versus they having to earn that $1 million, it means something different for that person that had to earn it for the person versus the person that was giving it to it. Right. And so when you have to earn things and when there's a barrier to entry to anything you do, whether it be your relationship and the people that you call your friends, all the way up into the money that you make and the environment that you exist in, the people that survive often are the ones that thrive. And everybody is not supposed to make it. Everybody can't be the CEO. Everybody is not going to be rich. Everybody is not going to be married. Everybody is not going to be successful. Everybody not going to survive on the battlefield. Everybody ain't going to make it out the hood. And somebody is going to have to suffer or die or get left behind. And the poor is always going to be with us. And so
what you're saying is everybody has to go through sacrifice. You don't get to bypass it, but you do get to choose the sacrifice.
And if you don't make it, I don't think that that's unfair because that's just life.
I agree with that. I agree. Totally agree.
That's just life.
Yep.
I watch the National Geographic and my algorithm is filled with animal videos, and some animals get ate the minute that they leave out of that's the one that the lions attack first is the weakest one in the pack.
Anton, do you think watching nature videos actually helps you understand life?
Absolutely.
It does. But
to realize that you can die tomorrow, there's no police out in nature. There's nothing protecting you. You can be asleep and wake up and you gone. You know what I'm saying? Watching these nature movies will give you a better understanding of how unfair life is and how bitch-fied we actually are as humans.
But see, that's a human thing to say that life is supposed to be fair because it never was supposed to be fair. If life was fair, we would all be the same color. We would all have the same muscle mass. We would be the same height. We're not born for it to be fair.
That's a fact.
That is not the way that things were supposed to be. Now you make the best of whatever it is that you got, and we're gonna separate the weak from the fake to see if the cards that you play them more effectively than the person that feel like everything is handed to them. But we see it happening throughout our cultures and society, and the women that say I deserve are usually the ones that don't get the man.
My beard don't connect. And
Can I say something real quick? And it's kind of off, but it's. Have you ever gone to the hood and you see the old folks that sit outside in a lawn chair and they drink a beer, and they go to the store and they get $2 worth of summer sausage, and you go visit, and you walk in the house and you see like a cigarette hole in the couch, but no, to you they are living. This is horrible, but to them they're happier than you. They ain't never been sick. So even though they have nothing,
I'm not happy. I've been in that house.
No. Hold on, Bruce. Hold on, because you can't write their story for them. Because even though they have nothing, they have everything. And even though you have everything, you have nothing in some cases. Does that make sense?
They hurting inside. They just
I
They
don't
hurt
know.
inside.
That's
Trust me.
all. I just want to put that out there. I have a friend that connected with me a few years ago. I went to high school with. God, I hope she ain't watching this show. I ain't gonna say no names. And she connected with me on Facebook, and we got to talking and this and this. She was in the military. Y'all, I'm finna give you some tea, but mind blowing tea. Me and my husband still talk about it. She was in the military, and I guess I don't know much about the military, but I guess they release you at a certain time honorably whenever you do your time. And her cousin, male cousin, had decided they were going to move away to a place in Texas to get their own apartment and start their new life. She saved all of her money. The day before they were supposed to leave, her cousin called her. She had packed up all her shit from her small town. Her cousin called her and said, hey, listen, I'm not going to be able to go with you. Me and my gal gonna go, and me and her gonna live in the apartment. And I asked her, I said, well, what did you do? She's like, I was pissed off. I said, well, did you stay home with your mom? She goes, no. I didn't want to stay in a small town. I said, well, what did you do? She said, I moved to the big city. I had this amount of money. I started off getting hotels. I said, okay. And she said, I started off getting hotels. And as my money began to dwindle, I started establishing the friends and family plan. I go, well, what does that mean? She goes, you sleep here, you sleep there. She goes, and when my money ran out, I became homeless. And I said, oh my God, the same reaction all of y'all are having towards people that you feel like are less than you. Oh, they don't know. Oh, I said, oh my God, I had the same reaction that Bruiser had. She goes, don't cry for me. She said, that was the most freedom I've ever experienced in my life. And I looked at her like she was crazy. And now she's a normal person making a whole lot of money. And I'm like, how does a person go from the military, guaranteed benefits, to this and this savings, to being homeless and saying that was the most freedom I've ever experienced in my life? And I was happy. I don't know. I'm just going to leave.
She wasn't happy. She was happy that she wasn't being told to get up and go do this and follow all these orders. She was happy about that she didn't have to go through that, being micromanaged. But as far as being broke out in the street, homeless, ain't nothing happy about that, sis. I'm sorry.
I call that cancer survivor happy, where you're just so happy that you survived something. My mom was cancer survivor happy. And I'm not trying to make anybody feel a certain kind of way who survived cancer, but this is what I call it, where, because me and my mom at some point was goddamn homeless. So my mom would always throw that in our faces because we were poor, we in the hood and all this other shit. And I would come home mad, like, why are you so happy? Because my mom would just be happy. Hey, and I'm like, yo, why are you so happy? She was like, I'm just happy to see my son. You came home, and that's all I need. And I'm like, what are you talking about? We poor, with this and that. This is some bull crap. And she said, don't you remember we was homeless at one point? We got somewhere to stay. You're safe. You got this, you got that. And I'm like Anton be saying, I don't care. I did some bullshit. What are you talking about? But my mom was just happy that we weren't homeless. So sometimes people can just be happy that they're still alive. You know what I mean? But to a certain degree, is it really happiness, or is just
the flip side of that though, Mr. Leggett?
Can I say something about that?
I got you, Ali. I got you. Now, give me just 15 seconds. The flip side of that though is that a lot of times when you're going through it, because you don't see it, the only thing that you're paying attention to is how you feel when you're going through it. The best thing that's ever happened to me in my life was going broke. At the time when I was broke, all I knew was the duress. It made me into the person that I am today in every way. I mean, I've learned so many lessons as a result of going broke. At the time that it was going through it, it was like, man, what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? But now I'm like, man, that forged a monster in me and it's giving me this hunger that's allowed for me to be able to pass so many other people, because when everybody else is feeling entitled, I feel like this is just points on the board. This is light. Go ahead, Ali. Do your thing, bro.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. What Mr. Lego just kind of bothered me. And no disrespect to you, Mr. Lego. Do you think, and I'm gonna ask you a quick question. I'm not asking you just to go because I want to go off of what I'm asking you. Do you think your mother went through trauma, waiting for you to come, all the things she went through her life when she saw you walk through that door, and then you to take away from what her being so happy to see you walk through that door, being the happiest thing maybe she had in her life? Do you take away from that?
No, I don't take away from that. We just have different experiences. Like me being a kid, I'm experiencing her life totally different than she's experiencing her life. You feel me? Because I'm her son, right? So I'm in her life because I'm her child. And I'm outside every day dealing with all this crazy shit going on, right? She's not outside. She's inside hanging out, just looking at TV. But I go outside, I'm getting more and more. So my experience, her uncle actually died in her arms, like on some menace to society type of shit. So yeah, my mom, my family members was involved in gang stuff, and it was some, I don't know, people saying different things, but we were getting knocked off, put it like that. It's a rumor in my family that we were just getting knocked off, and she left Philly because the family members were getting knocked off. So yes, she left a lot of trauma, but as a human being though, we always have to understand that each person is experiencing the same situation differently, and each person has to have their equal amount of grace. So I needed enough grace to be like, yo, I'm not happy in this situation. And if you are happy in this situation, we're just two different people. But it doesn't like discard my anger.
So go to what Anton was talking about. I think there's the things we inflict on each other is choice, and it's mentality. And I say this from this. I watch my uncles, my mother and father, my grandmother, my aunts go through some of the craziest stuff, like to raise all of us, to raise all our family members. I like I said before, I lost all those people though that I had, right? I lost my uncles, my aunts, my grandparents, all those things. But there came a fruition one day in my life where I looked and said, all of us had to go through it. Once you become established and once you start going through real life things, you go, dang, did my uncles and aunts and my mother and father go through all these things to raise us, that they made this. And I don't know everybody's experiences, but my mother and father went through great extent in my family to make sure we had some form of childhood or some type of happiness. When Anton and y'all are talking about nature and you seeing nature being happy, once life starts, it's ongoing suffrage to survive. But they appreciate life. All of nature appreciates life except for us. And the trauma comes from not appreciating life and from deviating from everything that is life. So this trauma word that we're doing is crippling us and it's destroying us. And we can't even get beyond just the relationships between each other where we become each other's trauma to us advancing to something greater than what we're supposed to be as even established as a nation in the world that we're in right now. This has to be like a 30-part conversation. I'm going to say this. I don't think it's more so a mentality than an actual trauma. If you grew up in a household of parents who were enduring and you got to watch what people did, handling adversity, handling obstacles, handling all the hardship that went through their life, it taught you to value yourself and the right value your parents and to upkeep what they were doing. If you grew up in another household where you saw people being abused, where you saw people on abusing drugs, alcohol, using sex as a coping mechanism and making an excuse for not being able to develop, nor help the kids develop. And if the kids ain't developing, then they're not being supervised, they're not being monitored. So they probably having sex just like they watched their mother and father have sex. A lot of the kids we grew up with were some of y'all might. A lot of people were getting exposed to cigarettes, to drugs early. Everybody was using a coping mechanism for the fact that they didn't have a family. So this trauma thing is getting played out to what, instead of acknowledging what's really happening in our lives and a mentality, you're either looking at life as in everything you're enduring, you're going to make good, or everything you're going to endure, you're going to make bad. So, and then you have other people who everything they endure, they make bad, even if it's good, and everything they endure that's bad, they make bad. So it's a mentality thing. And if we continue to hold on to this narrative we're doing, and I can't get all of it out, this is one part thing. We've crippled ourselves as a people to the point that the person next to you is, you're dealing with that person and you're allowing them to say their trauma. You're dealing with trauma your whole entire life. So this trauma thing is something we need to destroy. The fact that Anton said that, the fact that you using accountability, and I think what Queen Sheba said was very vital. It ultimately becomes a choice. You either sustain what your family did, or if your family was destroyed, you restore that, and you restore the mentality. You either sit there and be deleted and fade away, or you strive to be your greatest self. All that other stuff is excuses. And watching, when I was in mental health, watching the kids, you see that kid either put in this mentality that everything they see is good and they make it good regardless if it's bad, or they make it everything bad, regardless of it's good, but it comes with your support. We have a lack of family support, and we have a lack of societal support, and we have a society that profits from the fact that we all say we have trauma instead of all of us investing in having greater quality people. And we keep coming back to this conversation. Even if y'all saying y'all watching the Animal Channel, nobody's coming to save them animals. Nobody's coming to save nature. Nobody's coming to save us. So we have to save ourselves. It has to be come to the point that we choose to be great, or we just rely on our trauma.
Ali, I agree with what you're saying. I just want to say I agree with you saying, but both things can be right at the same time. Trauma is a real thing, is a neurological thing, but I do agree with you. We can't sit around and whine about it and blame our lives on our trauma. So I agree with you, but trauma is a real thing, is a neurological thing.
And this is how I look at it. Like in this life, like if you're sick, right? You suffer through sickness, and then there's a time where you're not sick. So when you're not sick, you appreciate the time that you're not sick. But if you were never sick, how would you appreciate when you are not, right? So sometimes we have to go through like the most pain and suffering just to appreciate the little things in life. So that's how I look at life, trauma, right? All of us go through some type of trauma. Some people's trauma is more severe than others, but it don't matter on how severe it is because everybody takes things differently. So when people are going through these traumas, the most important thing is for us to learn from it. So this title or the question says trauma hurts women. So yeah, of course, women are emotionally disturbed in certain ways. So when trauma hits a woman, she's going to react a certain way. It could be either the masculine way where she's like, you know, bump all men or whatever the case is that she's going through, or she could take it into a way of being a 304. She could take it many ways. It's not a certain way a woman's going to have a trauma. So instead of looking at it like, oh my gosh, I didn't have a father in my life, right? So I don't want to deal with men. I don't think us as people should look at it like that. We should look at it, wow, I didn't have a father, so let me go get a man that is a father, have kids, and make sure my kids have a father. If we take it and be like, okay, well, I want to be worse than my past, right? I posted today saying that don't let your past, don't let your past be your present. So let the past stay back there, but you have to learn from the past and make yourself better. Just like my example of you being sick, you would never know how it is if you were never sick. So appreciate all the good times that you have and just roll with that. Now, everybody's going to have a different way to go through it, right? But as we get older, we should just learn how to deal with it accordingly. There are traumas that you're just not going to forget. It is what it is. But how do you maneuver with that? Are you going to maneuver with it negatively, or are you going to maneuver with it positively? So it really depends on the people around you. So if you want a better life for yourself, have a better life. If you don't like what happened to you when you were young, then don't let it happen to you now. Don't let it happen to your kids. Don't let it happen to your significant other. There's so many ways to look at it.
Or don't do it
Or
to your kids.
right, don't do it at all. So that's just how I think all people should look at it. Trauma builds men. Okay, yeah, if it's something that's happening to them, I think it should build everybody. I don't think it should build men. It should build men and women. Because if women allow the trauma to hurt them in a way they don't want to be prosperous in life, that means that you want to be that way. Those are the choices that I hear some of you guys talking about. That's a choice. And it's okay to let's say make a bad decision. But as an adult, like I keep saying that, as a mature adult, you have to remember, don't let your past hurt you in your present. You have to move forward. And if you made the mistake to have it hurt you, don't let it happen again. Everybody deserves to have a second chance. So let your chance be your choice to have that chance. That's all I want to say.
In regards to this topic, Lady Dodd, and this is my question to you. If the trauma was in respect to sex, will the results still be the same as in trauma hurts women, trauma builds men?
It will. Sexual trauma will forever be there. It's like an alcoholic. Even though you don't drink, the thought of having a drink is always in your mind. So even though that person overcomes that sexual trauma, they will never be 100% normally comfortable with their body. Even though they perform and behave, there's always this X-Files in the background.
Yeah.
But I don't think that answered my question, though.
I can't make it up. That is the answer. Like, I know you may be looking for a specific answer, and that's why trauma is so complicated and difficult. That's why they call it complex, a complex explanation, because it's not for the normal to understand. It's for the professional to understand and help.
I get what you're saying in context, but
Yeah.
I don't. When I say if it's about sexual trauma, I'm
That's
saying
the
does it
most
hurt women?
detrimental.
And does it build men? In
Oh,
regard to
man.
trauma? Yeah.
Sexual trauma is the most devastating trauma a man or a woman can go through. And even though that person appears to be normal, they still suffer by way of thoughts, behavior, even if they suppress it. But I'm going to pause and let the men answer it if a man want to take that on.
I just want to go on right behind what you just said, Sheba. The reason why it's so bad, because it goes back to what I said, when women experience trauma versus when men experience trauma. When you feel helpless in a traumatic experience versus you have the ability to fight back, but you just lost. If you feel helpless, usually sexual trauma, boy or girl, that is the difference between the level of trauma. Because when you feel helpless, then you go out into the world as an adult and you start feeling helpless again in different pockets of your life. And when you feel helpless, you either withdraw, get scared, run, or either you fight, yell, and attack a person that didn't even do anything. So because you don't know, it's actually called maladaptive, like, because you didn't adapt to things possible, the positively. So it's a maladaptive way of dealing with life. You feel me? It's something called maladaptive social cognition. And it's something that a lot of men and women deal with when they've been, sexually assaulted or whatever. They just don't know. They can't even make friends right, because there's always this thought in the back of their mind, like, what if this person does me wrong? Because it's this innate feeling of, I don't want to feel helpless again, if that makes any sense.
But the reason why I'm asking is because I'm trying to draw an intersection, because it seems like there could be a blanket that you put over this and say that, okay, if I go through a traumatic experience, I'm going to become stronger and I'm going to overcome, like sort of like the example Anton gave.
The context is a helplessness, or if you were not helpless. That's the context.
Well, I'm saying, like, if I became poor or broke, me going through that unleashed a monster inside me. It made me a more, like, go after the bag even more. Like, I had this new motivation. So I just became even more proficient.
You can fight poverty. Yeah.
That if that traumatic experience is a little different than the sexual traumatic experience. It's not going to be like,
because you can't fight back.
Because I got touched. I'm going to be bodying bitches now, since, you know what I'm saying?
No, it's I don't want to minimize anybody's trauma that's listening, but it's a little bit more complicated, and I'm gonna leave it at that.
So it's safe to say that depending on the traumatic experience,
and by who,
some that's gonna make you stronger, some is just gonna be like, I don't ever want to experience that again, so I'm gonna try to.
There are none that will make you
else
stronger.
have to go through that, or I'm going to resonate with people who
there's an impact. There's no, some will make you stronger. So erase that from your head. A sexual violation is a sexual violation. And depending on the level of support. So that's when you start to get into adverse, they call it ACE, adverse childhood experiences. So can I tell you something about a village? And a lot of y'all are right when you talk about a village and family. Do you not know when you have strong people around you, research shows you can overcome anything with a strong group of people that love you, whether you're married or single. So that's the first thing. Who's around you? After post-traumatic stress, that's why they call it post-traumatic. Number one. Who's around you?
Don't forget about complex post-traumatic stress.
But no. So that's the first thing. Who's your tribe? If you have one. If you don't even have nobody you can call and talk about this shit to, but I say, hold on. Have you ever called somebody and every 5 minutes they put you on, let me order my food. Hold on. And give me a dinner. First of all, that's a broken level of foundation of support. So you don't even have a solid level of support. So I'm just saying this for the people in the audience. If you can't even get through that with your wife and your friends, you already, your level of what is it called? Getting over that, you already went down a couple of scores. Number one, because you don't have a village. Number two, there's not a positive or a negative. It depends on the person and people that are building you up and the skill sets that you learn along the way. And also it comes down to the men may be able to help me. Your wherewithal when you're determined to, when you're bench pressing and you be like, you can see one guy bench press one day and he come in with the wrong mentality the next day and you be like, what is you doing? What is it called, y'all? Your mental strength, your
focus, I would say. But
your mental determination, and you gotta show up like that every day.
I appreciate you pushing it there, but
no, it's not me pushing. I'm telling you, that's the reality of it. So
right.
that's where it comes when you have to be willing to listen and learn from people that are trying to educate you. That's why they call it complex therapy, intensive, because you cannot understand it from a layman's term because you want it to make sense to you. It don't even make sense to them. That's why they struggle with it.
I'm telling you, I understand, but I'm trying to pinpoint something, but what you're doing is you dragging it out past.
Drug out. Ask people how long it takes them to heal.
Well,
Bruiser,
I'm saying I get what you're saying, but
ask your question. Re-ask your question.
Okay, here's a different way to put it where you could just give it a simple answer. Sex with no intention to get married is considered sexual trauma.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. It's about the narrative. The narrative.
You're making up stuff now.
That's a question.
Hold on, Bruiser. The narrative is the traumatic thing. So say you start having sex with a woman starts having sex with a guy, right? And she thinks it's going to turn into marriage, and then it ends, and you find out he was manipulating you and doing all this other stuff, right? Now you're going to go back to another traumatic situation that is in your amygdala from your past. You're like, you know what? All these men ain't shit. And now
you contradicting yourself because you said it's also in your body. Bruiser, and then Tuesday you gave a speech about it making you tick a certain way.
Bruiser, I'm trying to answer.
Did he not do that, Ali?
Bruiser, stop.
Did he say she had a certain tick?
Bruiser, you being combative. You asking for no, you
literally said this. We trying to answer your goddamn question. Shut up for a second.
But you contradicting yourself.
Shut up for a second. So what I'm saying,
how can I listen to a contradiction?
You actually it's a narrative, not sex. So if you go into a situation with the understanding that we just having sex, that is not trauma. The narrative that you actually formed is
okay. So now you're placing another word and you're saying that we understand it. I'm saying there's cases where maybe
somebody manipulated you.
So it's not manipulation.
The narrative.
Listen to what I'm saying. Look at society today. There's cases all over the places where one may know that they have intention to just have sex, but the other person involved does not have the same intention to have sex. They actually think you're into them. Thus,
that is part of the trauma, is what I'm saying. Sometimes
that's all I'm asking. So I'm saying sex. These people who are unaware and they don't have any understanding that they're just
I think you're moving a goalpost, and I think you're manipulating the conversation for men. Right. If a grown man and a grown woman consent to have it is not sexual trauma. Bruiser, stop doing that.
I didn't say they both consented to just do it. I'm saying that
you said marriage.
What?
You said marriage, and that's what I'm saying. Sometimes one person is lying about I want to get married, and it actually could subtly traumatize the other person because they just like, wait, what just happened? Because there's a break in their narrative, and they just like, wait, what just happened? You feel me? That feeling of damn, it just happened again.
All right, hold on. So I got a question. Should women have sex outside of marriage?
Actually, no, because it's
no. Actually, no.
So if women shouldn't have sex outside of marriage, then and we understand that the more bodies that a woman accumulate, regardless of whether it's consensual or not, it actually affects her in a negative way. Do y'all think that that's a traumatic experience?
That was my question.
Depending on her narrative, no. It depends on her narrative. Like I said, it's about the narrative.
Traumatic. If you're having sex outside of marriage, which is supposed to be the fruitful way to do it, if you're having it outside of marriage, marriage is the container for sex. So if you're having it outside of marriage, then it will be traumatic. You will have troubles. There will be things that will happen to you because you did it out of order.
Thank you.
Even if you enjoy it out of order, that's traumatic.
I disagree. It depends on where. Because if a person
If you
doesn't
have it
want to
outside
get
of
married,
sex, it's
that's
gonna be
not
a
trauma.
traumatic.
So
You're
why-
adding trauma to your life.
Depends on what their narrative is. Precious. It's
why-
some people just want to have sex. That's not trauma.
Wait, we're talking about marriage and sex and virgins and spirituality.
So
Anybody
what
saying
about,
about no
so why
virgin?
do
That's
they
what
call it?
Ali was talking about an hour ago.
Why do
Anton
they
just
call
said,
it? Why do they call it trauma bonding? And then why do they say that people?
Thank you.
Well, trauma bonding ain't really got nothing to do with sex. It's about
It has a
most
lot to
people
do with
having a
sex.
traumatic
Yes, it
upbringing and they
does.
relate with
It's a
each
lot
other
to do
due
with
to their
sex.
traumatic upbringing.
It has
sex
a
is
lot,
a
lot
powerful.
to do with sex also, because a lot of times what
Sex is a
happens,
part of it, but it's not it.
one of the reasons why you should not have sex, just randomly have sex, is because then that becomes the thing that you substantiate as the foundation of your relationship, and it's not built on anything more than the superficial things, right? And so that's why when people know when other issues come up, they're unable to truly solve for it, or they then, I'll give you another example. We say that you can't unsee the experiences that you have, and this is why we say women shouldn't have a lot of bodies, right? If it wasn't an issue, then guys wouldn't care about body count, because then you have to substantiate the idea that, okay, one of the reasons why she can't really be able to bond with this guy, or she can't get emotionally connected, or so on and so forth, is because of all of the experiences that she had before him with so many other guys, right? If that wasn't an issue, then every adult that always consented to and had consensual sex wouldn't have issues, right?
I just want to read trauma bonding so everybody's clear. It looks like from the scientific definition of trauma bonding, there has to be an abuser in play. And it says trauma bonding occurs when a narcissist repeats a cycle of abuse with another person, which fuels a need for validation and love from the person being abused. That's a scientific. Everybody look it up. Look,
And
I'm
let's
not,
look at
this
the
is
word
not me.
abuse.
Hold on. This is not me versus anybody. I just want to put the meaning out there, because I don't want somebody to think that's because they're having sex consensually with a woman or a man that's been through something, that they're taking advantage of them. And that's not the case. I just don't want to mislead the audience. That's
So
it.
think about this, Sheba. If a person is abusing the opportunity to sleep with you because they're lying to you, right? Because abuse isn't just sometimes you can abuse drugs, you can abuse an opportunity, right? I started working with Anton, and I just don't do nothing Anton tells me to do, and I'm abusing, so you can abuse things. So when it comes to the narrative that I told a bruiser, when you abuse the opportunity to do something because you're lying to somebody, that is part of the abuse also. So
but we're not supposed to take drugs.
I understand what you're saying.
Use drugs, and it's by very definition, is to alter something that's supposed to be natural. That's
your brain.
So you're not supposed to take it at all. It's abuse in the ingestion of drugs in the first place.
Yeah,
which is the very foundation of what I'm saying. If you're doing something outside of what it was normally intended for, which sex was supposed to be for married couples, it was not supposed to be for everybody to do what it is that they're supposed to do, then how do we then revise it to mean something that we want it to mean just because everybody is doing it the way that they want to do it?
I agree with you.
Not argue with you, but that's the way the human brain works. That's the way the human brain works.
Don't argue with me though. I should have just put it in Anton.
Your brain is going to be incongruent with just having sex, and it's not going to be trauma.
I think Lucky was trying to get in. Then we go to Lady Di. Go ahead, Lucky.
No, I was just gonna add to what Anton is saying. I think the answer typically that we're missing is most people have been taught that it's okay to have sex out of wedlock is based on trauma. Like how you have sex, with gender you have sex with, all of that. And I think there's a bit of ignorance to the conversation, because it's like, not saying anyone's ignorant, but even myself learning. I'm just saying there's a bit of ignorance to it, because there's different ways it can be inflicted in many different ways. You can experience trauma just by what you see, the household you were raised in, maybe your friends, you saw something at school, maybe something happened to you. There's many different things that can inflict trauma. It could have been that first time, your peer pressure, a lot of things, you know what I'm saying? Where when you lose your virginity, when this happened, you're so broken, you operate in insecurities, which a lot of people do. So you're out here dating with that mindset, and people can see that you're weak. People can see that you don't have this. Your intentions could be good, but you also become, like he's saying, a target for another person who is traumatic. So they're looking at opportunities. So I just kind of wanted to wrap that up and just say that's what I understood from everybody. And that kind of go back
That's
to what
real
we
shit.
said earlier about being a virgin. Once you're that's why, and I like when Precious brought it up, is that's why we're all fucked up, because once you abuse what was sacred for a constitution of a marriage under God, it can get out of hand. It's just like a drug, which people are treating like a drug. It's a girl who had a video where she said her husband picked her based on how well she sucked dick. That's true. She don't even realize that that's traumatic. So I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of ways that we respond, and the truth of the matter is, in this year and today, most of us are in this dating world even having this conversation because our generation and our culture specifically has been through trauma, and we don't know what the fuck we talking about or doing. We just out here figuring it out like everybody else.
And just so y'all know, sex and drugs affects the dopaminergic parts of your brain the same way. So yeah.
All right, hold on, Lady Dad, before you go, because we're about to ready to wrap up. We're gonna go to Lady Dad. This is like final thoughts to the people that I named, so make sure nobody else come back with nothing. Lady Dad, give us final thoughts. We'll go to Ali, Precious, and then if anybody else want to add anything, Bruce, if you want to add something, you can too. I know you've been pretty quiet over there, so go ahead, Lady Dad. Then we'll go to Ali.
So I was gonna say, with this trauma thing, I believe that a lot of us suffer from trauma because, let's say some of our parents were very lazy, right? Raising us. They believe that, okay, well, I don't want this to happen to her or him because this happened to me. So let me not even teach them anything. Let me, let them do what they want to do. Let me have the TV do what they want to do. I'm going to go be busy working and all this type of stuff. I'm not going to put into my child. A lot of kids suffer from trauma because of those things. And I'll just use an example of just something simple. If you guys have seen it, think of, like, you ever met a person that was half, let's say, Spanish, right? But they don't even know how to speak it. They don't know how to speak their language because their parent didn't teach them the language. And they come from this, Puerto Rican or whatever place they come from, where they should be able to learn that language, right? They have kids and they don't want to teach them anything. They don't want to give them tradition or something authentic. They're like, you know what? I'm not going to do that because I don't feel like it. They're not going to understand. That's a way of laziness to me when it comes to how some parenting is. So as far as like what Lucky said, there are people who don't tell their kids not to have sex. They're just like, don't get pregnant. Or, men just wrap up. How about let's not do none of that? I think, it's best for you to do it when you get married. Don't do all these things because you're going to regret it at the end. No one, and from my experience and just watching, I don't see many parents saying that. And for the parents that do say it, I've seen kids that actually listen to it and they don't do it and they do wait to marriage. So I think that parents have a strong way of getting their kids to be in line. It's just that a lot of us don't really have that great upbringing, and we have a lot of toxic parents that teach toxic things, and then we end up toxic. So I think all of that is just laziness to me. I think, we all have to do better as people just to kind of teach our kids the right thing and not, oh, well, I don't want to do that and do this and I ain't got time. Make time for your kids, because then you're going to be mad because you ain't got no grandkids or whatever the case is. Make time to teach your children right, and instead of having them out here fending for themselves. It's supposed to be the elder teaching us, right? We trying to teach, but then where are our elders teaching us what the right thing to do? I don't really see that no more. A lot of our grandparents and all of that type of stuff, they're not doing what they're supposed to do as a community. It's like lost. And I think we should try to get it back together somehow and just have more conversations like this to kind of bring it out. And then we could talk to our family and be like, hey, talk to our parents. Well, how was your upbringing? Look at our parents' trauma and see why are they the way they are, and kind of get more understanding. So
go ahead, Ali.
I don't want to take away from, it's something I wanted to address that I just don't, how men see sex, how women see sex, but I think what Lady Di, like you said, things that I don't want to take away from just to make a point about something else. So I'm just going to go off of what they said. I think it was very important what they said. It was good. So I'm just letting them ride.
Okay. I go ahead, Precious.
with the trauma talk tonight, I believe, if we were built to suffer, we need to learn how to suffer. If we're built for this, if this is what we're going to be going through in life, don't just take it as something that's happening to you. A lot of things happen for us for a reason, and we don't realize what that reason is because a lot of people don't dig deep to figure out why they are suffering or why they are choosing what they are choosing. And I think once we start doing that, once we're being honest with ourselves, being real with ourselves, is when, we don't have to feel like we're actually suffering through life. We know how to get through it. We know how to manage it and manage our emotions. So I think that's where we want to get, as a people, being able to just manage, being good stewards over our own lives.
All right, Bruiser, you want to add something in? You don't have to, but just want to make sure.
No, I just have since I've been talking with you all, and I'll be learning a lot from everybody, man, especially Anton Daniels. It kind of give me a whole different mindset on how I think about how we deal with women today, especially if we talk about them from time to time. And we have a community that wants a particular person that wants to go out and have sex. And then we can't agree that actually doing that as a man is a detriment whenever you're not doing it on the purpose of marrying this woman. And then we go and have a whole nother topic where we can go ahead and say they ain't shit or they're 3 or 4. It just kind of make me think, like, do we hate our women? You get what I'm saying? We really gotta understand this thing here. We can dish it out, but we got to understand that if we're going out there and breaking it off in them,
we can't turn around and blame them.
Yeah, do we really hate them? Like, because if we can all agree that it's a traumatic issue, and it like Anton said, it caused trauma bonding. Like, if you're going to go and participate in it, and you know for sure that you don't want to get married, you hate your women, you hate them.
I don't want to say that much, like, cause you what? No, okay,
well, it's going to be a part of their demise in the future as they move forward past you.
All right.
What benefit are you giving them? Just experience to be able to get married, like somebody said, the other girl, because she could suck head so much. It probably was your dick she was sucking, Mr. Lego. That's probably why she got married. Because you taught her how to suck dick so good.
Yo,
she got married. That shit is not gonna happen for everybody, bro.
Forget it. Forget it.
Yeah. Sheba, you got any final thoughts? Anything you want to say?
I just think this was one of the most positive conversations.
Yes.
That we've had. I mean, kudos to everybody that brought it tonight. This was very productive. That's all I want to say.
Yeah. And I held us in here. Anton was trying to pull us out of this. I just remember that. I got into it with Anton. I'm like, no, bro, no, stop. And we stayed in it.
All right. Get these super chats.
I'll bust them down. Give me a second. I got you. Mono Vibes on Demand is also a member. Says salute to you, Bruiser. Bruiser got a fan club out here in these streets. Clyde Adara says life is like pressure. It can mold you into a diamond or grind you to dust. It just depends on your composition. Shout out to you, Clyde. I appreciate you. Cheeky Banner says I'm heading to bed. Y'all be safe and have fun. I love, where's it? Oh, that's the exclamation point. Love the entire panel, and the class clown thing was for Bruiser. Lucky said it first. Good night. Mono Vibe says Anton on point. Sadly. Why sadly? Why am I sadly on point? That's not good. Trigger Mike with the fireball says trauma isn't cute on women. Chicks dig scars. Men don't like them at all. Let that scar heal and hide that shit. Sugar Curl, shout out to Sugar Curl, says trauma is processed somatically. Is it somatically or systematically? I'm not sure what was being meant right there. Mentally, emotionally, and cognitively. Manage the pain is different from healing. Running makes pain worse. Shout out to Sugar Curl Salon is in the building. Kelly says, family, we got to send a prayer for JR. Has a high fever and is really sick. He believes in bringing a ratio every week. Please hit the like button and support. Shout out to JR. Rainbow, Roy Rainbow is in the building with the 20 ball. Says, thank you, Anton David Goggins. Reading. Ali, you're on point tonight. Shout out to the ladies, Mr. Let Go Bruiser. Book coaching calls. Time out says, Mr. Let Go, you didn't wake up if you already gone. I don't know what that means. Chike Auto LLC. Oh my God. We're gonna go. Thank you for the super chat. We appreciate you. To Go says, I think Lucky hate men now because of what she experienced on those yachts. Come back to us, Lucky.
See how ignorant the audience is for the transparency. They
Maybe
want to know.
they just joking. They just joking. Don't worry about it, Luck. We got you. Miss Parker says Bruiser is correct. See, I didn't say sadly on Bruiser being correct. Why y'all gonna say sadly on me? I don't like that. It's a bias. Bruiser is developing a network of people that, anyways. Sex without marriage, Greatness to Work says, is fornication, which is just as bad as adultery. No one talks about that. I don't know if it's as bad.
Yeah, no, that's not true.
Yeah, I don't think it's as bad. Marcus Evans says, dope conversation. Another hit show. Good night. Mono Vibes on Demand says, thank you, Ali. Well said. Trauma is a thing, but finding a coping mechanism to navigate and overcome it is also a remedy. Shout out to you. And also, last but not least, a lot of people, Chike Auto says, a lot of people feel comfortable with trauma and use it as an excuse to mess up in life and blame it on their parents and community. Learn from it, grow up. Salute, J. Aura. We appreciate all of y'all for. Oh, one more. Pollard J09 says, can y'all call Bruiser out? How many women did he bust down? But he's talking about we hate our women. Bruiser, you couldn't get through this without getting some smoke, I guess, big dog.
I'm married. That's all you need to know.
That's all we got, J. Aura.
First of all, this was a great show, y'all. This was a great show.
It was a great show. I don't think people understand that we have all type of conversations. All conversations are welcome. It's not just about the drama, but we try to bring some flavor here and there. So hopefully you guys learned something. I want to thank the panel first of all. And I want to thank everybody that watched. Thank the chat. Let's be respectful in the chat. You know, the chat it is a community, so let's make sure that we respecting each other's opinions and perspectives. Follow everybody on the individual platforms. Everybody on here has a platform. So if you type in a name, I'm pretty sure you'll find information on IG and or YouTube. That's it, y'all. We'll get up out of here. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, JR. Feel better.
No problem. Thank you. Y'all check out Trigger Mike's show. Trigger is going live at 10:30 a.m. Central Time. Men, we are enough. That like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I just want to say thank you guys on behalf of the Lapeef Network. Make sure you guys subscribe and give us a follow. Thank you guys for your constant support, because without you guys, we would not be where we are today. Again, Trigger Mike is going live tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Central Time. Men, we are enough is the topic at hand. You make sure you guys show up in the morning. Show your support. Salute. Shout out to all the Green Gang out there. Marquise Keys, Catherine Forbes, Frenchie K757, G, Lexicon, Marcellus Davis, Mr. BX87. Shout out to the First Lady Kelly Combos. Make sure you guys follow everybody that was on the panel. Check them out. They got great content as well. Shout out to Trigger Mike. It's the last track, man. Hit that like button. Hit that like button for me on your way out. And make sure you guys subscribe. If you think this was a powerful conversation, make sure you go ahead and share it to somebody who need to hear it. It's the last track. Shout out to the greatest show ever. I see you, big bad boy. Thank you, sir. Again, it's the last track, family. I just want to say thank you again. Y'all make sure y'all be safe out there. Shout out to all my third shifters out there. All my second shift just getting off. Y'all be safe.